Do you know what? Yeah.
This is
Welcome everyone to the Battle
mo-
Cats podcast.
momentous occasion.
I am your host, Anicor, and I'm joined by my co-host, Caleb Peng.
Dude, you know what this reminds me of? It's like that kid that never wins anything. He finally wins something. He's like celebrating like the world's gonna end.
Nah,
I
do you
will
know what?
say,
Yeah.
first time ever I've lost a bet on this podcast. It's not Stardust related.
Yeah.
First time I ever lost a bet to you. I need to see some proof though. All right. So for those that don't know what's going on, Anicor apparently hit legend this yesterday.
Apparently,
Yesterday, Sunday my time. We're recording this on a Monday. And I need to see. Let me see what happened, and then you need to tell me. We're not even gonna wait to the GBL section. You're gonna tell me how you gained 500 elo in 2 days, right? Look, that's a hard feat for anyone, but especially for someone that's never hit GBL leaderboard in their whole life, right? Like,
yeah.
break it down.
Here's the thing. Yeah. So you saw me during last episode. I didn't. I don't know. I don't know why I thought it was probably going to be more towards like February, yeah, which is why I was saying like, oh, I don't mind bleaching my hair in Japan, it'll probably look cool. And I realized I was like, crap, it's actually going to be soon, yeah. And honestly, I didn't really feel like bleaching my hair right now, yeah. Is like I don't want to rush into it and then possibly damage something or something like that. I was even after we did the episode, yeah, I was even messaging some of my friends back home. Yeah, I was like, look, I might have to get my hair bleached. Yeah, I was like, is it possible that, like, let's say for example something damages, if I shave all my hair off, then is it fine? And they were like, yeah, it's fine. So I was like, okay, well, to be honest, maybe it's not that bad. But I was still not gonna go. I was still not gonna go down.
Wait. Okay,
quietly.
yeah, I get all this preface up.
Okay,
Tell me
okay.
what did you do? How did you get 500 points in
Well,
GBL? I don't understand
have
this
a bit
part.
more. Okay, so
This part I don't understand at
the
all.
day after we recorded,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, gonna get serious. I went to bed early that day, the night before, and I tried to go on stream in the Tea and Pizza thing and then try and play like that. But honestly, I couldn't really focus properly on stream and I lost some elo. And then the next day I had work and I tried to play after work and I was like falling asleep at the phone, man. It was just not happening. Yeah. So I was like, okay, Fantasy Cup, last bet. Yeah. You hadn't reached it by this time. Last bet. And honestly, what can I say? I sat down, I concentrated, I had my little quiet Mexican music in the background. Yeah. And I banged out 500 elo in 2 days.
What team did you use? I don't understand this. I think everyone listening is like, what? Like, so this is something that like Hard Jeff would pull off, but like, I know you two are tight, man. I did. As I said in a group chat, I was like, look, I'm gonna hit up some Niantic contacts to see who's been fiddling with your account the past few days.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, what was the team? The team was Escav lead, Azu, save swap, and then Shadow Flagon in the back. So when I was looking at the cup in general, I was like, yeah, Escav is Escav and Azu are probably the two best Pokemon because it's like they don't really have any hard losses. They can kind of like maneuver their way around. The first team I ran for like one game was PvP David was using Escav, Azu, and Charm Ninetales. And I won the first game, but I was like, yeah, this don't feel
Charm
too good.
Ninetales is kind of hard to use, I feel like.
Yeah. He was like, oh, everyone's safe swapping Flygon. So I was like, fair enough. But then I was like, you know what? I've got a Shadow Flygon. Let me try it out. Yeah, bruv. This Pokemon is a mad thing, yeah. It's like the Fantasy Cup Shadow Charizard. Yeah, it has 0 counters. The closest thing to a counter to Shadow Flagon is Skarmory.
Well, Whimsicott also like the Dragon Breath user is kind of annoying. Like a I faced like a Zwilus or like
I faced no Dragon Breath users.
I actually faced a lot of Steel Wing Dragonite, which was super annoying.
Yeah,
Steel Wing Shadow Dragonite was super annoying for my team.
That is a bit annoying as well, but again, it's like it's manageable. Do you know what I mean? It's like with these kind of Pokemon, they don't have a lot of bulk, so I've got Aerial Ace on what's it called, SCAB. So I can like pressure a shield early, well, not pressure a shield, but like pressure some damage early to make it a bit more palatable, and then four
I
mud shots to a dragon claw.
got a question for you. Were you
Yeah.
piloted at all? Were you streaming these battles? Were you
Nah,
doing by
nah.
yourself?
Like I said, I tried to start
Are you on the
streaming.
leaderboards for the first time ever too?
Yeah, 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 which is also kind of funny.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Wow.
tried to start stream. I tried to do the streaming thing on the first day when I was in Great League Remix, but like it wasn't even piloting. It was more like just seeing, like reviewing stuff, and I was like, I'm getting more distracted while streaming, and also I'm reviewing it myself anyway. So I was like, well, I may as well just do it on my own.
Wait, let me see the elo on your phone. Let me see the legend thing on your phone. I was telling some of my friends, I was like, look, I don't mind bleaching my hair, but it'd be real troll if I bleach it and he shows up and he's like, yeah, just kidding. That's someone else's screenshot, you know?
No, 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 no. You could see in the
But
video,
I
innit?
don't
I had my like avatar in there or something.
I don't remember your avatar. I mean, I figure you're probably not lying because I've never seen you celebrate so much in your life.
Now, bruv, do you know what? Honestly, the main
Dude,
the main
the
reason,
the
yeah.
connection's so
Okay,
oh,
okay,
okay, I
cool,
see it
cool.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
The
connection's a
main
little
reason
choppy.
for celebrating, yeah,
719.
was
Let me see how many battles I
because
have done.
it was so, bruv. It was because it was so funny, yeah. Because I knew that you
Oh wow,
had
you've done a
no
lot more
clue.
battles than me. I'm only at
Yeah.
673. And I assume you didn't even battle yesterday, right? I did like a full day of sets yesterday too.
I haven't battled today.
Today, yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah.
battled, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay.
I battled over the weekend, or like all my sets. So
Man, I gotta get it together. I mean, I'm not making excuses because it's on me. But I was at literally 2,900 last week in Portland, and then
no.
over a week ago, and then I was just like trolling around too much, I guess. But I didn't think you could have
Honestly,
done it.
after
So
like the first day of Fantasy Cup, yeah, I was like, nobody even breathe a word to Caleb, yeah, because I'm gonna catch him off guard, innit? Yeah, if he knows I'm climbing, he might like try and
you
start
tagged me on
saying
Twitter,
stuff.
and I didn't know what I was looking at. I was just like, huh? I was like it was just so nonchalant, right? It was like a
Yeah.
second place thing. I was like, I like woke up, I was looking at it, I was like, man, what is this? And it
Did
was
you
right
like the
before my
comment below?
local challenge too. So once I saw that, I was like heated. I was like, I need to at least win this freaking challenge now. But I got core broken by a freaking bubble Jelson. That thing was actually pretty nasty for my whole
Oof,
team. Yeah.
damn, that was not a good day for you.
Well, I still got third, but I lost to the same guy twice. I lost in the Swiss round to him, and then I lost to him in game 3 in Top Cut, a single elim. I 2-0'd everyone else actually, but yeah,
Even
it came down
Ramberto, I
to
saw that picture.
we didn't get to play each other was the
Okay.
problem.
What?
Yeah. I played Ramberto the day before. So Ramberto, we had two challenges, one the
Oh,
Saturday
okay.
and one Sunday, and he won both actually.
Oh.
I had to yeah, I faced eighth grade, the C2U, um, and then I faced Ramberto and Gerald on the first day. I'm like, what the heck is this draw? like this is a
Just
rough 4 rounder.
play
Yeah.
regionals.
Yeah.
Did you
And
use
so I
the
went
same team
to
as
yeah, as my Portland one. I swapped out Shadow Polygraph for non-shadow, which
okay.
overall I think worked better. Um but so I end up going I misplayed both in both the Berto and the Gerald games.
Mhm.
So I went 2-2 and did make top cut off of that. And then the next day I went 3-1. I lost to Tosi Paul Rick, local mine. I actually covered his cup run on
Yeah,
my
I
YouTube
remember
video.
watching that, to be honest, actually.
Yeah, yeah, he's been really grinding out too. He's improved a lot since first time I faced him was in Fresno actually, and that's
Mhm.
why I introduced him to RC Cola and some of my local people. And then you know how they roll now. He's on like one of the SoCal Swablu teams, you know. So, but no, he's been grinding. He's been going to a lot of regionals too, and yeah, so I lost to him in 3 games. He pulled an onion Frank actually. So
Oh.
he said it himself, right? So we had Charger Bug and his won the cap, right? His won the cap. So I was able to farm down his Jelson at the very end, and his left with a move, and I knew like I was in X's range. I had it anyway, but I was just like, well, I'm still gonna press X scissor, right? Like I know
Yeah.
I lose the charge attack priority. And then he threw a volt switch. And I just literally said, I was like, wait, you didn't have the move? He's like, no, dude, I pulled the onion Frank. And then I lost the next two though. And then we had a rematch in the top cut. I have footage of this, so I'll probably post it later today on YouTube. But I had the perfect setup because his bubble Jelson was a huge pain, but he had a Clodsire, and the Clodsire was like shutting down my charge bug, and yeah, what else beat his and Lickitung too, right? His Clodsire was beating both the Lickitung and the charge bug. So like my charge bug didn't have really anywhere to go, and that matchup was terrible, right? Like you thought the match was bad against Gligar, it was even worse than Clodsire.
Mhm.
So he had a really good core, and he also had a Guzzlord too, right? From like my Lickitung really didn't have a lot of places to go, but I won the first game. I lost the second game. I had just had to make a hard read on him. I was like, the only thing Lickitung really beats on his team is Jelson, so I just lead it into the Jelson. He swaps Lickitung. I swap Poliwrath. We're on one shield apiece after that. And then he has energy on the Jelson. I have energy. I have a Power Whip banked on my Lickitung. I throw it. He catches it on the Guzzler in the back.
Ooh.
And then I had Shadow Gligar, which I was able to win that, but I spent all my shields.
Yeah.
And his Jelson has like a ton of energy now and just takes out my Lickitung. It was Bubble Jelson too.
Mad.
Yeah. Yeah, Bubble Jelson Clodsire core is kind of interesting. I mean, there's not really any grass to break it up. And also Clodsire's not that bad as grass. But yeah, I mean, I had a charge bug linked on my team, but I just couldn't find wins for it. It was weird. So maybe that's a thing to look out for in the new meta or in the current meta, in
Well,
the Charlotte meta.
I think this is going to be interesting though, because obviously we're going to touch on more of it a bit later, but depending on how Annihilate comes out.
Well, it won't be eligible for Charlotte.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. But depending on the move sets, yeah, you're right. It could be interesting. Yeah, because Jelson also the benefits you wall off the Poliwrath move set, right? So, and the Bubble Jelson is not bad to Zoomer either.
Yeah.
I had a Zoomer that Clodsire is a pain. Clodsire is a huge pain. But yeah, I had it lined up, and I could have had a match against Birdo in the finals, but well played. Well played. I got my revenge against Gerald though on day 2, so there's that. Yeah, I was able to 2-0 everyone else, which was nice. But
Nice.
taking a lot of L's this weekend. Let's just put it that way.
Man.
Just put it that way. Anyway,
Looking good. If anyone's
so for those that
wondering
are
why
wondering,
Caleb's hair isn't blonde,
yeah, so we're recording on Monday because we're supposed to
yeah,
record tomorrow, right? But Anicor is a busy man, I guess. Now that he hit legend, he's got all these plans in the evening, right? Like I'm willing to
okay.
record at 10 p.m. my time, which is like what you're 6 p.m. I don't know what you got going
Yeah.
on.
I'm usually
You got
gone by then,
what you
but
got a hot
I
date?
mean,
What's going on?
equally same earlier in the day though, because I'm available and you're not. So
Yeah.
you know,
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not available tomorrow during the day because I'm freaking bleaching my hair for 4 hours. They said it was going to take at least 4 hours. Yeah.
4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I have a
I
lot of
heard you have
hair
to do it
too.
twice as well, because when I was asking my friends, they were like, "Yeah,
If I
you
want
might
like
have to do it
platinum
twice because
blonde,
it's
blonde, but
black."
like I don't think I could get that blonde. Yeah. Dude, I'm just going to bleach it like once to see how far it goes.
See,
It's
I've
going to
got
it's
in
going to
mind that
be
it needs to be. It kind of needs to be like a paintbrush, I'm not gonna lie.
what do you mean a paintbrush?
like
We said we're
a black
bleaching our hair. We're
paintbrush.
not like making it white. Like
Okay, so did we say bleach or did we say blonde?
no, it literally
Is the
says
question.
bleach. It literally
I mean, it says
it
that on
literally even
the
says
text.
in the agenda, legend loser bleaches their hair for the rest of the season. What?
It says that in text, but what was actually
Dude, you try to
spoken?
make my scalp bleed. Like, I don't look, it's a different story, right? Because like if I had like light brown hair, or whatever, or like dirty blonde hair, that's very easy to go like platinum blonde, right? You know how hard it is for someone that has black hair to do that? Like
I
you
mean,
try to
yeah,
burn my you
say,
were literally just talking about how you had to shave your head if you have any damage on your head. And here you're
yeah,
trying to
what's this?
now that you won, you're like, yo, let's just throw them in a bucket of acid, right? Like cook them. Like I cooked them on my way to legend this week. Man's
Hey,
got
I need
no
to milk the
remorse.
most
I
out
see
of
how
this
it is.
situation.
Huh?
I need to milk the most out of this situation.
Yeah, you really are. Yeah. Yeah, this cow's dry. Okay, there's nothing left to milk. Enjoy your win while you can. Look, I'm a man of my word, right? I'm not dragging my feet too. I booked that appointment and it's happening tomorrow morning, right? So anyway, so we could have recorded tomorrow, but the Anicor's not free for whatever reason. I just always assume he has like a hot date at night, and I'm just trying to imagine this guy, right? He's on his first date with this girl, and she's like, "Oh, how's your week?" He's like, I had a good week, right? I was playing Pokemon Go. I beat this guy to legend. I never win before, but and then I can see that being the end of the day. she's
Let me
like,
just say,
this guy's so weird. I'm out of here. And you're still like celebrating dinner table by yourself. Like, yo, I don't mind if she's gone. I'm still celebrating with this dinner by myself.
let me just say, I'd rather
Nothing
that
can
be the
ruin my
opener
week.
than, hey, why is your hair blonde? Like, looks kind of strange, you know? It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
don't
that would
really
have
have
been
an
way
answer to
worse
that.
because then you had to explain how you lost a
I'd
bet.
have to explain exactly how I took an L.
You don't have to
Um,
explain. You could also just say that. You could also just make something up, I guess.
yeah, but
Unless she goes back and
truthful
listens
guy.
to all the podcasts, but
Yeah,
okay.
never
So
mind.
anyway, so I'll have my hair bleached by next week. You can listen to all of our episodes. We've been saying bleach this whole time. We ain't saying no platinum blonde, right?
I'll listen back. I'll listen back.
Yeah, listen
I'll
back.
double
Listen
check.
back.
I'll double check.
Yeah, you used to be a loyal listener until you became a co-host and you stopped listening to the episodes.
Because I listen to it on job, you know.
No, you gotta listen for quality assurance, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I did last week, and that's how I clocked about the. I was a bit quiet, but
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, my apologies on the audio levels too, because trying to adjust it. But I think the problem is when I'm editing, I'm using headphones. So on
mm,
headphones, everything sounds fine. But if you're using speakers, like people are driving a car, it's like the audio levels are
yeah.
a
I
little
also
bit
realized
funkier.
because I'll usually like work with one AirPod in, and it turns out that the reason my levels were so low is because I still had mine on a double mic setup, so it was considering this mic as the left mic, I guess. And so actually, when I had my one AirPod in, it was the one AirPod it was like the right mic. So
Oh.
yeah.
Wait, did you so anyway, if anyone watched the YouTube version, you might know something different with Ancor's face. He had me flip his face the other way.
Yeah, I prefer that. I prefer that.
I don't understand. You see the face, like why does it matter? It's okay. I get how some people have like I have a good side and a bad side, right?
Yeah.
But we're looking at you straight on either way. So who cares which side your like
No, no,
sliced
no.
up
Do you know what?
eyebrow is on? Like why does that
No, no,
matter?
no, 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 no. It's like it's genuinely well. Okay, when I say genuinely, it's like obviously it will vary based on people. Yeah, but have you ever taken a selfie? Yeah, and your selfie is different to how you look in the mirror. Obviously, if you've got your cameras changed, like if you've got
Yeah,
your
I think
camera
most of my
changed,
selfies look different than when I look in the mirror.
exactly, yeah, and that's because when you take a selfie, it doesn't mirror the image, so it takes it as if it's not as if someone's looking at you. It's as if um, it's basically nobody can see you in that perspective. It's not possible, right? So the whole point of it is, it's like, you know, if you're taking I mean, honestly, I don't really know the whole point of it, but anyway,
Wait,
it's
so no one
impossible
can
for
see you
someone to
in
see
the
you. In
selfie angle, or no one can see you in the mirror angle? No one can see you in the mirror angle.
actually, wait, maybe I'm wrong.
Dude, I don't even know
Wait,
what
wait,
you're
wait,
yammering
wait, wait,
about.
wait, wait.
All right, so I
Okay,
got a
okay.
question.
Now, my bad, my bad. Everyone sees you in everyone sees you in the way that the selfie is, right? But that's not the same as how you look in the mirror.
Yeah, so when I'm looking at you right now, it's okay. Let me just ask this. All right, so you have the like eyebrow slits, right?
Yeah,
Which eyebrow is the slits on? Your left or your right eyebrow?
it's on my left.
It's on your left.
Yeah,
So if it's on your left, then this is how the angle should be.
but when I look
Because
in the
if I were
mirror,
talking to you, no, I don't care what you
it's
see in
on
the mirror
my
though.
left as
It's
well.
it's not about it's not about
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you see in the mirror. It's
I
about
know,
how
I know.
everyone else looks at you when they're talking to you. Because if I'm talking to you face to face, this is exactly how the angle should be. Your
But
eyebrow
also
should be on the side it's
yeah, but
on.
talking to someone face to face and over video is different. I'd much rather be
What do you
mirror
mean? Over
me
no
in video.
wait wait no. What do you mean? I'm because your left eyebrow is the one on the screen
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
It's in the right position. If I were to face you like in person, that's why I asked which side it is. Like the webcam video
It would be on
layout is
your right, yeah, in person.
yeah, and that's how it looks right
Yeah,
now on the camera.
yeah. But on camera,
Your
I'd rather
eyebrows on the right side, yeah, of the screen.
yeah, on camera, I'd rather it be in your left.
It doesn't matter if you rather be on the left or not. The thing is, everyone that looks at you is gonna. What's the point of me flipping it for YouTube? You know what? I'm not flipping anymore for this week. I flipped it last week. That's all you get, right?
What? What?
No, wait,
This guy's so
because
bitter. Yeah, he's like,
no, because you're
loses
selling
on that.
people.
Listen,
You're selling people a
huh?
lie. What you mean?
It's
No
not a
one,
lie. It's just mirror
because when
me.
people, no, where
Well,
everyone
they're
looks
going
at
to
you,
see me
they're
in
not going to
person and not
see.
recognize me. They're going to be like,
They're not going to see
something,
mirror you. They're going to look at you and be like, "Why is your eyebrow on the wrong side?"
something
Like
looks
I'm.
different, you know? Like,
What? What do you
I
mean?
can't
I
put my
don't
eye on
understand.
it. I feel like that is Anicor, but at the same time, it's not. You know,
What? I don't know.
everyone's gonna know
I
it's
don't
me.
know what you're on. This is like if we were
Just flip it,
recording
bro.
the podcast with filters on our face, with like tattoos on our face, and we show up and there's no tattoos on our face. People are like, "What the heck happened? Where's
It's
your
not the
tattoo?"
same
Right?
thing.
No,
Just
it's.
flip
I don't
it.
understand. What? Wait. Why do you want everyone to see the mirror you when they show up in real life and it's actually not you? Like it's not the
It's
right
still
side.
me. It's still me. It doesn't because I prefer on video and pictures. I prefer mirror me.
But
In person,
why?
I can't tell because I
Because
can't see.
in person that's going to be incongruent with what people see.
They're still gonna know it's me.
But
Like,
what benefit do you have of doing mirror you? Why not just accept that this is what you look like to everyone else?
no, because I look different on camera versus in person. Do you know what I mean? Innit?
No,
Mirror
no,
me
you look the
looks
same. You look the same. Because on camera right now, your eyebrows on the
no,
correct
no.
side.
Yeah, as in like I look different on camera than I do in person. Do you know what I mean? Innit?
Not really. Why would you look different on camera than in person? The only difference when in person versus camera is you're just shorter than I thought you were, but that was about it. But
That's
like I
true.
get
Yeah,
that, but neck up, you look exactly the same as I expected.
yeah. Nah, I don't know. I think. I mean, obviously, I can't attest to that. Yeah, because I don't know how I look like in person because I can't see me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I prefer mirror me and like on
I
video.
get that you prefer mirror you, but no one else sees mirror you except for you looking in the mirror and
Well, everyone's
maybe
gonna see
potentially this
mirror me.
podcast if I cater to your random desires for some reason.
I don't see the problem with that. Bro, it's probably one button. I don't really see the
No, it's not
uh
button. I had to
two
change.
buttons.
I had to change it. I had to flip it for every time the scene changes. Every time we do like a graphic thing and everything, it's an extra couple minutes of editing every time for sure.
It's actually that's wild. There must be a one button
No,
process.
because
There must be a one button
no,
process.
there isn't.
You can't
This
just
is
flip the entire video.
no, it's Final Cut Pro. Well, because I'm already
Flip
changing
the video
the
first and then
no,
start it.
no, because I'm already changing the ratio. I have to change the ratio first before I flip you. Otherwise, it gets like really funky. It's like you're like inverted as well. You're like upside down. Like it's a bunch of weird stuff.
What are you
Because
doing?
it's the width that's going negative, not the height. So I
Uh,
can't adjust like the whole entire picture and like
well,
backwards
they
because
don't
then
have a
you'll
button
be
that
upside
says
down.
like flip horizontal.
No, this is not. This is not like
Uh,
this ain't like an
what is
iPhone
it?
like
But it should
photo
be.
app. This is Final Cut Pro. It's very specific. I mean, I'm glad though because they're so specific, you have much more customization. Whereas for the photo flip thing, it's usually on apps that don't have a lot of as much functionality. So
True, true.
anyway, I just need you to accept that this is how you look to the rest of the world. I don't know what else you want. I
Yeah.
don't know what you're going at here, right? Like even your whole apartment's backwards for whatever reason now when you do the mirror thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that as well. That was funny.
All right. Anyway, let's get into the YouTube comments because we've been on this for a second here. YouTube comments from last week. Kawaii D says, I feel like they are more likely to add Z moves in place of third charge attacks. Makes it so you can only use one Z move per battle and either make it stronger than a regular charge move, but shieldable, or equal to another charge move, but not shieldable. That'd be kind of
I could see
interesting.
Z moves being predominantly raid based
Yeah.
until like, do you know what I mean? There might be the like if they allow it into PvP, they might do something similar to Megas where they're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
this format you can use Z moves or something like that. But
Dude,
I
I got a
think that'd be
question for
quite
you real
interesting.
quick, though.
Uh,
Is your Wi-Fi kind of acting up right now? Because, like,
nah, is
I'm
it Buki?
no, I've been trying to hold it together, but it's been almost 25 minutes, and
Really?
it's like, well, one, I'm literally watching a slideshow right now, and the slide it's like about a solid like 20 seconds per like slide. Yeah, you
Oh
right now you're
man.
frozen like this, like and that's
Wait,
all I
but do you know
see,
what?
right?
You were saying that you were having issues with YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. I'm receiving you very fine. I'll move my router, yeah, because I can
But
improve my
why would
router
my
placement.
Wi-Fi be?
But you were saying that you were having YouTube issues, so maybe it's not me.
But my internet's fine when I like game and play like League and stuff, and that's like pretty intensive.
Maybe it's just right now.
I don't know.
Let me
Let
see.
me
This is optimal router placement now, or like as well as I can do it.
I have a speed test right now. All right, I'm gonna do a speed test. I can't really hear you because you're away from the mic, by the way.
So yeah. I'll do one as well.
Yeah, we'll compare our speeds, right? I know Australia is not known for their high speeds.
They're
All right, so
not.
I have
No.
999
What the
uh
hell?
Mbps download
That
speed.
is kind of wild. I can't lie.
I have AT&T fiber. What you want? I have 929
What
upload
the
speed.
hell? I've
I
never
don't think
seen
it's
upload
me.
speed like that ever. Well,
Yeah.
I've got 100 download speed and 14 upload speed. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're good now actually, or you're a lot
yeah,
better.
well, I just moved the router in it. So um,
You call it router?
yeah,
It's
well,
router.
you call it router in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is just another American English thing. It's
A
actually called router.
router?
Let's just say in it, but okay.
Oh, so when you're driving on a road, you call it a route, not route.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah.
interesting. So in Pokemon Go,
Yeah.
their mechanic it's Pokemon Go routes, not
Yeah.
routes.
Yeah. Yeah. yeah.
Uh, interesting. A lot of vegetation there. Okay, but you're a lot better now. Yeah, so I think it's
Yeah.
helped. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I was struggling. You were sounding robotic too, right? And then
Yeah.
you're on and on about this mirror thing, and I just like couldn't like I was
Fair enough. Fair
you're like uh,
enough. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
It's
we
still a
good
little
now.
choppy right now, but it's not as
This is
bad
the
as
best I
before.
could do to be honest. Yeah. Eventually, maybe if it's like really bad, maybe I can get like an Ethernet connector, like for next week.
Next week,
But
aren't
for
you going
now,
about to move in like 2 weeks?
no, I
I
can
mean, I think
probably
it's worth having one,
move.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think I've got one at
yeah,
home in it, so yeah.
yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I think the Z moves could be interesting. I don't know a ton about Z moves myself personally because I haven't played the Bang Series games that have it.
So, like Kawide was saying, is in the actual games, Z moves can't be blocked by Protect, and that's one of their like. So generally, they're like way higher base power than the normal move, but also one
Mm.
of their main things is they can't be protected.
Does
Um,
every Pokemon learn it? Like learn a
so
Z move?
every Pokemon has access to generic Z moves. So basically, it would be when you use a Z move, your standard move just gets upgraded into the Z version of that once per game.
Ah,
Yeah. So
okay.
you can choose which Z move you want to use, and then certain Pokemon have their own custom ones as well. Um, but
That'll
yeah,
be
so
interesting,
it would
especially
be
the
because it would
balance of
mean
that.
yeah, it would mean that like again, it's super hard hitting and you can't protect. So if you put up a shield, that's your shield gone. Yeah,
Maybe you just
but it's
shouldn't be
also
able to
once
put up
per
a
game.
shield because that'd be frustrating if you're trying to shield something and ends
Well,
up
yeah,
being a Z
the
move.
thing is, a
Like that's
part of
like
the thing
super
is that
punishing.
like that's a part of the mechanic, even in the main series games, where a lot of people had
Yeah.
issues with it because they were like, well, it's super punishing because one turn can completely flip the situation. You know.
Well, people don't like how Scald debuffs work right now. Imagine a
Yeah,
Z
yeah, I
move and
know.
you had a coin flip on the shield
yeah,
call there. That's kind of wild.
it'd be
Imagine being like Luster Purge. Like what? As
yeah.
a Z move?
But this is why I think like possibly like if they do bring it in, you could maybe see it for like one, custom GBL format, a bit like Megas,
Yeah.
because
I
I
honestly
think it's
wish they
definitely
allow Megas in Great League.
I think it'd be kind of cool. I don't know how many
Great
Megas
League
would
and
actually
Ultra
buy.
League Megas wouldn't be too bad in my opinion.
Mm.
Because like they're not that overpowered. I feel like maybe Ultra League you might need to do some tinkering because Mega Aldino might be super busted. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
kind of funny.
think
Mega Metacham, I think. When I was doing Sims,
it's not
like when
that
they
good
came
in
out,
Ultra League.
is it not good in Ultra
No,
League?
I don't think so. There's so much ghost types. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I
I
think
don't think it's
Mega
actually that much better
Sableye
than
is
the other
decent
fighters.
for it's either Great League or if it gets to Ultra League
It's
to be honest.
no, I think it's also the Ultra League one.
Is
I
it?
think Mega Sableye is okay too, but again, like there's so much like bulky ghosts and like other stuff in there, and fairies in Ultra League that I think it also still struggles a little bit. But that's why I think
Oh,
like if you
that's,
have megas available in Great League, it should be fine because everything's gonna be
yeah.
so frail if there's mega form.
What would be the most like meta mega Pokemon in Great League, you reckon?
I don't know actually. Maybe Audino would be kind of annoying too. I don't know what the moves
I guess
it would
Ordino
really
doesn't really
have
have any good
is.
moves.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm saying.
Ordino
Like, I don't
has
think that there will be any really busted
now.
megas
Yeah.
in Great League either.
So if you
You know,
compare Mega Ordino to it's not even on PvPoke.
you can
Uh,
maybe go kind of spicy with a certain like typing, like Mega Sceptile with the
yeah.
dragon grass
To be
typing.
honest, I feel
I
like
think can
if you
throw
went Mega
people off.
Ordino, does it have a secondary typing? Is it
It's
like
fairy,
Fairy
I
Normal
think,
or
right?
something?
What is it right now? Just normal?
Normal, yeah. So at
Yeah,
the
I think.
moment, it's just worse Chansey.
Yeah, in
Mega
Ultra League, it's kind of
Ordino
impressive. Yeah,
is
Mega Audino is normal fairy, so it becomes like
okay.
Wigglytuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting, I guess. But yeah, maybe you're right. I guess none of them would really be super impactful.
yeah, yeah. Audino's movesets aren't great because the Megas don't really get different movesets. So
Yeah.
it's pound, send headbutt, disarming voice, hyper beam, dazzle gleam. I mean, yeah, I like if they allow Megas in Great League, I don't think it actually changes anything really.
Mm.
Um, people might be like people that like Spice might be able to do something, but yeah, Z moves would be interesting. I don't know, that could be interesting too. Forno says, talking about TM update, simply making regular TMs function like elite TMs, where you get to choose what move you want instead of the RNG reroll. You can simply gray out or not even allow special moves to pop up as an option. It still makes elite TMs useful and sought after. Nothing has changed there. You may even want to keep tons of regular TMs in order to change moves as you need for future specialty cups. Just get rid of the RNG factor. Simple, right? More quality of life changes are much needed in this game. Yo, I
Mm.
100 agree with you, Forno, and I. The only reason why I'm not sure if Niantic would ever go down that route is because TMs, as of late, or maybe in the past year or a few months, has become like a source of revenue for them because there's some boxes that were selling TMs
Yeah.
because they know there's a shortage, right? And so and I'm sure there's a lot of people that raid for just TMs at this point, right? Because there's such
Mhm.
so I don't
I
know
think
if
the
there's
event
someone
on
in
the weekend
Niantic that's
will
like
definitely be
doing
big.
like calculations on their bottom line, right? On like if this actually impacts their revenue if they make TMs more reasonable to use.
Yeah, but do you know what the thing is? Is that like again the PvP player base versus the non-PvP player base is way smaller. So I can't imagine the extra revenue on TMs from just PvP players is comparable to something else that you could do for non-PvP players. Do you know what I mean? Like
I
I feel like it's way easier
yeah,
to make money out of non-PvP players than PvP players. So
true. Because I don't know how much money they actually made off of the TM boxes,
yeah,
but
I can't
and they're
imagine.
not really that common in the shop, so maybe they didn't really work out that much, so they just took them
Yeah.
out. I don't know. So I mean, I'm sure at least like a few people bought it, but how many is
Mm.
a different question.
I've
I
been
again,
noticing.
I like that idea a lot for no. I mean, I think it's the idea that makes the most sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the RNG of it is so bad. Like, imagine buying a box of TMs, charge TMs, and then still not getting the move you want. Like,
Bro,
that's just straight like robbery. Like, you
that is
spent your hard
emotional
earned money to
damage.
buy something to do, and you still don't get it. Like, what?
Literally. There
Like,
have been some mons that just take over 10. Oh, the worst one I was doing. What was I doing last week? Yeah. I can't remember what it was, yeah. But it literally had it had 5 moves. Yeah. So I was no. Did it have 4 moves? Had 4 or 5 moves. Basically, I was just cycling between 3 moves. Yeah. I needed one of them, so it had 4 moves. Yeah. it took me over 10 TMs. It just kept on cycling back and forth between the same ones. And I was like, the hell is this? Over 10 TMs. There was a
Yeah.
50-50 chance every single time, and I got the wrong 50. Mad.
Oh, right, because you unlocked a
Yeah,
move.
because I was trying to get one move. There was one extra move in the move pool, and it just kept on giving me the wrong one.
Okay,
It
so there's
was
4 moves
annoying,
total,
man.
right?
Yeah, 4 moves total,
Yeah,
and
that's
it
pretty bad.
just wasn't running, man.
Yeah, I tried to get a right moveset for Quagsire for a factions match back in the day for my
Oof.
teammate. I spent 12 TMs trying to get Mud Bomb. It was crazy.
That sounds pretty good as well.
Huh?
Like that sounds like on the low end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
How much
I'm
you
yeah, because if
potentially.
it kept going, I wouldn't have been
Yeah,
surprised. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's pretty bad.
mad. Yeah, I did notice though. Like I know you were saying that more frequent charge TMs in GBL. I've also noticed that whenever I'm doing like practice matches, so just like uh
With friends, like
yeah,
scrims,
yeah,
friendly
so
scrims.
matches with friends, I'll sometimes get charge TMs from those as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
definitely loving the slight increase in accessibility to charge TMs and Niantic, but I don't know if it's enough. I feel like we do need more. Because again, the Battle Frontier season hasn't started yet. We'll go over that a bit more later on. But it's like when people are actually playing these formats, then it's really going to be apparent. Some people don't even want to do practice because they're like, I don't have enough TMs to practice with you. So like I'd much rather save them for the actual season. I'm like, wow.
You know something that really pees me off?
Hmm.
It's when people talk about how there's a shortage of charge TMs, right? And in this current like move economy, right, where we have so many different charge moves now, and there's always, I want to say, at least like 3 to 5, maybe more, people responding with screenshots of how they have like 300 charge TMs or they're dropping TMs and stuff, and there's always these people just rubbing everyone's face like, ain't a problem here, right? I got no issues. I got plenty of TMs. Yeah. Are you still there, by the
Hey,
way?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Is it
you're
really
like
bad?
straight frozen. I like don't even know. Like, like you look like you
Yeah.
flatlined on the audio level. So
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything we can do about
you
that, to be honest.
gotta. Is the router overheating? What's going on, dude? Y'all don't know, right? Because hopefully in post production it's all clear quality. But
Yeah.
this live recording is
We'll try to do our best. Do you know what? Yeah, there's also a possibility I could go off and go on again because I feel
y-
like that fixed something last time that happened.
yeah. Wait. There's a possibility of what?
I could log off and log on again.
Let's use that as a last resort because that just makes my editing like even more annoying.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
there's like so many
Yeah.
different like audio levels and video formats I do. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Elevate the
Oh
router. Do you
yeah.
have a book under it?
I have a cardboard box under it to
That should be
elevate it a
fine
bit
too.
more. Maybe I'll like move it to the edge
That
of
should
the
be fine.
cardboard box just in case the fans are at the back. Um, yeah, honestly, that's like imagine someone goes onto Twitter and they're like, "Yeah, this month's been hard. Bills are kind of high," and you just got someone flexing their bank account in their tweet. Like, do you know what I mean? That's very, very poor taste.
I don't even know the specific example you said because it was so robotic sounding, but I'm
All
gonna
right,
trust you. That was a good analogy.
Bruv, let me just log off and log on it because otherwise we've got an entire
Okay,
episode.
okay, all right. Let me restart it. Are we back? And
Oh, and there's a
yo,
ghost.
what?
Did anyone see that?
What do you mean? Did anyone see that? Of course, your whole freaking door just opened up. What do you mean? Did anyone see that?
Oh my days. Okay.
Okay, I got
Uh,
a question for you, right?
uh,
I don't want this to happen, but if there's like actual ghost there, you become possessed, like
mm,
you just lose yourself, right? They
mm,
just like, God forbid, they take you out, right, off this
yeah.
planet. Do I still have to bleach my hair tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
If
ain't
anything,
gonna
you should do
know.
it. Yeah, you need to do it in my honor. You know what I mean? Like,
I
yeah.
ain't wearing no
Be
clown
like, that's what he
mask,
would
that's
have
for sure.
wanted.
I ain't wearing no
Turn up to
clown
my
mask.
funeral like that.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I don't
so,
think I explained this part. So we were supposed to record obviously at our standard time tomorrow, but we weren't able to for our scheduling purposes. Um, And we did say that for the clown meme, it's like for every week that you record that the other
Mm.
person that hasn't hit legend, they had to put on part of the clown meme. And so we agreed, myself and Anicor, we agreed that well, because we're recording a little sooner than we should have, I think we should have one more day to play some GBL, right?
It's fair
I'll tell you
enough.
what my
Yeah.
ELO is later on, but it's still
Right.
going to be kind of a, I don't know. If you can do 500 2 days, I should be able to do something in one day. But it's going to be it's going to be a close one. Let's just put it that way. And anyway, so if I don't hit it by tomorrow, our usual recording time, next week I'm gonna have a different hair and some clown makeup, which is
And we may be having a special guest next week as well. So I'm glad that's their first impression of the podcast.
let's move that recording to a
Co-host
different time. Let's record
Caleb.
let's record that a different time. I'm gonna turn off all the lights in my place. There ain't gonna be no
I
lights.
don't know about that, man. Like, I think we have to be true to the podcast. Let me see.
This man really celebrating his dub. This is gonna be
I'm just
the
googling.
first and last time. I'm just saying
I'm
I ain't
googling some
ever
clown
slacking
names.
off a GBL again in my life. I'm playing every battle. I'm gonna be the
We have
first to legend. Just to put a
Chuckles McJester, Giggles the goofball. Yeah.
what are you
Don't worry.
looking
Don't
up
worry.
right
Okay.
now?
Okay. Basically, if you do have to do the clown meme next week, yeah, I'm gonna come with 10 clown names for you, and you can pick one. Yeah, that's gonna be your name
This
underneath your
man
video.
this man trying to get his own Netflix comedy special these days, dude. I'm just saying.
Jolly Juggles, Tumbles the Clown, Pranky Puddles.
Let's get back onto these YouTube comments. Infamous
Uh,
Mash says John Gardner is a natural. I agree. I agree. Also
yeah.
says daylight savings was created for farmers. That's
Yeah, that
interesting.
makes a lot of sense as well, to be honest. Because again, it's like that means farmers have to wake up earlier because they're at the mercy of actual daylight and
I
you know
guess so.
the day going down.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of a pain for them to wake
Yeah,
up.
so it makes sense for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, still, I don't know. I didn't do any extra reading on daylight savings to like figure out the point that I came into the episode with. So I guess I'm still against it. So
Yeah. If this match continues, the bigger question here is how do we get more people interested in competing? With the loss of Sylph online tournaments and how easy they were to join, that for me was a giant step in the wrong direction. I'm hopeful for Dracoviz, but they seem more data driven and less of a hosting site. The longer we go without a solid way to pull casuals or newer PvP players, the less likely we are to grow regional numbers. I would say I mean, yeah, they are definitely. Well, you work on Dracoviz, so you could say more about
mhm,
this. But they definitely, obviously, focus a lot on their data. But they also have a hosting site as well for tournaments. It's more
mhm,
so they're different from Sylph in that they're not hosting their own metas. They're not like they don't have their own platform for competitives. Like
mhm.
they're not trying to host their own league, like their own
Yeah,
competitive league.
yeah.
They're just trying to be a
Uh,
hosting platform, which I feel like Sylph before, like yes, they had their own league, but you could also host your own like random tournaments on there if you want to.
mhm.
So it's kind of all inclusive, but I understand why Dracoviz doesn't want to go that same direction. They just want to be like the platform to host stuff.
Yeah, I would say that actually, and this is like a belief I had, I guess last season as well, because that was like kind of the first season we had without Sylph and nothing too solid going on. But I feel like actually we've got a lot of options these days. So obviously, like I said, we're gonna touch on Battle Frontier a bit later. So we have team tournament options now. There's also Devon doing their own solo metas. There's still gym breakers, and I feel like gym breakers are expanding the amount of teams they have. But more importantly, locals. So obviously, in regions where locals aren't rolled out yet, bit of a different issue. But for the majority of the world now, there are locals, and I think locals are really significant because I was chatting to a friend, Peng, who's running the a lot of like the Berlin in person stuff, and he was saying that one of the things he noticed from one of their locals last month was it would take place in a card shop. at the same time as maybe some TCG and VGC. But some of the players from TCG and VGC were actually coming over to see what was going on, and like, they were interested in this other part of the championship series. They're already familiar with the championship series, not completely familiar with Pokemon Go. So I think there's one potential to get interest from some of the other games, but also two, I think there's also the potential, once locals are a bit more established, there's the potential to attract more casual Pokemon Go players through things like, let's say, for example, the ambassador program. If the ambassadors are also working with the people who are holding locals, then you have extra bonuses for attending locals, like, the little codes and I don't know, some other stuff. And in addition, you can also potentially use Campfire to advertise your locals as well, which may be another way of getting, some casuals involved. So I think actually we've probably got more opportunity to get casual players involved, because if you think back to Sylph, obviously in the early days there were a lot of casual players who were playing Sylph, but as it got on in years, there were a lot less. So I think it was, as the years went on, it was probably less accessible to casuals, especially since most things were held remotely, and there wasn't as much in person.
Yeah. The thing I really disliked about Sylph towards the end is they made the rules so complicated. Like,
Mm.
I don't know if for those of you that did read through some of this stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But if you read like the Sylph Continentals meta, the Worlds meta, like the different formats, right? The bracket system, it was like 5-page documents, single spacing. And I'm just like, what am I reading? Like, why is it so complicated? Like, do a simple double elimination bracket or a Swiss round with like a single elimination top cut or whatever. It was like, you gotta do this qualifier, this wild card thing. The top ranked player of each country gets the invites, but also on top of that, if you were, top something in the world, you get an invite into worlds. If you don't qualify through the continentals route, like it was so complicated. Like
Yeah.
I have a lot of love for people that ran Sylph and stuff, but like I just wish like they just kept it more simple, right? It was so hard to digest and understand. And I'm speaking to someone that started playing Sylph, .gg since day one, right? Since the beta. It just got like
Mhm.
I think they were just like, and I'm sure that's not easy, right? Someone had to write this document, do all this stuff, and I feel like it was a little bit of an echo chambers concept where like all of them were like, yeah, this might be good, this might be good. And they all like try to incorporate everyone's ideas or
Mhm.
a bunch of ideas. Like, yeah, it's gonna be great. Everyone's gonna love it. And then they release it, and everyone's just like, dude, like, what am I reading? Like, just give me the spark notes on this at the very minimum, right? Like, it was like it was
Yeah.
so much more clean and easier before, right? Maybe not the best system how they used to do it, but it was okay, right? You qualified through regional and then blah blah blah. And then they started doing all these like weird rules and they dropped the rules like midway through a season or in the end. And we're just like, what? Like,
Yeah.
this is not the same. And I was very frustrated with factions for that reason too, because they would drop like the factions world's qualification criteria like a month before, like the right before the last cycle is about to
Yeah. I
start.
mean, they had a
I'm
lot
like,
of
what,
issues
where
with
was
that as
this?
well, though, innit? Because
Well, yeah, and then
especially
people
with the
were
last
yeah, because
worlds.
then
Yeah.
teams were arguing, yeah, and then making exceptions, allowing other teams to do
Yeah.
it. I'm just like, like I get they're trying to be like accommodate and stuff, but like at the same time, like if you were just clear right off the bat how you want to execute
Mhm.
this, different story, right? And I get part of at least last season was also they had to shut down Sylph like early, so they probably like couldn't really do the full thing they were trying to do, I
Right.
guess. But for factions, but man, it's just like that's my advice for anyone hosting grassroots or formats moving forward. Keep it simple, right? Don't do anything too wild, right? I haven't done Battle Frontier yet, so I don't know how that's going to look. But I hope like same thing, right? Just keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
Don't do all this like weird qualification, like the tiered stuff kind of makes sense, but honestly, I wouldn't even care if it's just a seeded double elimination like tournament format, like for the teams. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
like
I think I
it's like
like the tiered stuff just because it gives you a sense of like prolonging progression. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be a bit harder for something to survive as a multiple year format if it was just like, you know, double elimination tournaments each season, as opposed to it being something where teams can gradually promote or relegate or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It feels like um, it makes it a bit more of a long term thing.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I would say I personally wish that there was more teams in a single tier rather than just like whatever they had for Silver. I don't know what it looks like for Battle Frontier, but
I think for Battle Frontier, it's. I guess we can check a bit later, but I believe it's also 10, and I think with Sylph it was 10 as well, wasn't it?
yeah, it just seemed like a
Yeah.
little. It was very like stressful. I feel like you know,
What, too many or too
um,
little?
too little because
Too
when you
little.
relegate like 2 or 3 teams out of a tier of 10 teams,
Yeah.
that's like it's a lot of stress, right? And a lot of things can happen. Like,
I think the
we've
double
been
drops
relegated
as well
once, but
were.
we've been in the
Yeah.
highest tier outside of that one season, that one
Mhm.
cycle. Whereas I know some teams just go ebb and flow, right? And I feel bad for them because like we've almost been relegated at times, and we literally just hang in there by one point. Like
Mm.
we win the final week by one, or you get relegated because another team just doesn't perform. Like you're hinging on their success, right? Like it's so like
Yeah,
and I
but
think that
to
can
be
happen with
honest
a
though,
lot of teams
yeah,
as well. But I think if it's like a tier, like the each tier was like 20 something teams, and you relegate 2 or 3 teams, that's gonna feel a little bit better, right?
yeah. I think
Um,
that's harder to fit in. Well, I wouldn't say that's harder to fit in um, in terms of actually getting all the matches played. Because like I'm from the perspective of like the Asian stuff we're doing, so the Asia Pacific Championships, we have 20 players in a tier, but in order to go along with the GBL season, we have to play 2 matches per week. So there's the possibility of, let's say you did 20 teams in a tier and you stretched it across 2 seasons. That's also a possibility. You'd
I
be
don't know
playing
if
the
you need to
same
battle
season for
every
6 months.
team too,
That's yeah. I mean, then it would be a different.
because you
I
could do
mean,
like
what
a
would you want
Swiss
to do?
format with
Swiss.
teams. Yeah.
Swiss feels a bit. I don't know.
You
Maybe,
didn't battle
maybe
every team in King of the Hill, right? And that was still an interesting format.
that's true. But that was a very short
I
term
mean, obviously that
format.
was a lot of people, right? But
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
still, like I didn't have any qualms with not being able to battle certain
yeah.
teams.
But I think let's
I
say
knew
if
like
they
as the
did,
bracket went further and further, I knew that every
yeah,
team we were gonna face was gonna be pretty legit regardless. So like, who cares if I don't face like one of the best teams in India when I'm about to
yeah.
face the best team in Australia, right? Like,
But do you think if they did, let's say, for example, obviously not exactly the King of the Hill format, but like if they did something along those lines per season, then again, it's like it feels less long term. It feels more like a one off tournament. I feel like this
yeah,
is one of the reasons why Factions has had so much interest and has lasted for so long. And I think it's because it feels a bit more like a long term investment. And it's obviously a long term investment that people are willing to make. But do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like
I
if you
get
take
you.
some of that out
At
in
the
my
same
team,
time, though, it was also very exhausting. I don't know if you felt that
yeah.
way.
Well, I
It was
think
super
100%.
exhausting.
I definitely did feel that, but I think with the increase in the amount of players on a team now, I think that alleviates it a bit more. Obviously, I can't say for sure until we start,
Well,
but it
but
feels like for me so far, it's felt a bit better that
I feel like
I don't.
the players are still invested even if you're taking a break, right? Like if you're off a week, you're still paying attention to what's
Yeah,
going on. You're helping your
but the thing,
scrims,
you're
right?
still paying attention, yeah. But then that's just like your mental engagement. Do you know what I mean? In it, yeah. Like if you're following anything, perhaps if you're following your favorite football team week in week out, yeah, you're going to be just as like
Yeah.
maybe not just as engaged, but like to a degree. But
Well,
I
I
think
think
definitely
the biggest
the
thing that I still hate to this day is the team calls.
what do you mean?
Like you could just straight pilot your players, right? Or like watch stuff.
Yeah,
Like I wish
yeah,
people just battle
yeah.
on their own.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true. Yeah,
it's like I know
yeah. It's a
people
hard
come up
thing to
with
police. I
whatever
think
they
as
want
well.
to come up with, but at the end of the day, like it for competitive integrity's sake, I just
Yeah,
hate it. I
yeah.
just
It's
hate
true.
it. I mean, and here's the thing, right? The better team with the better players typically still win, even with the team calls. But it's
Mhm.
just like it just feels like a necessary evil, you know.
Yeah.
And like I feel like if you started out team formats with this as a proposed thing, people would be like, "What?" Like, I think the majority of people would be, like, confused, like, "What?" Like, I don't know about that, right? Remember when
Yeah.
people got their panties in a bunch years ago? I don't know if you're GBLing back then, but when people, like, they were calling out people that coach GBL because they were, like, piloting the people they're coaching on their streams,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, "Well,
Yeah.
what about, like, the opponent on the other side, right? They don't know they have, like, a top tier, like, multi-legend player coaching your student in vet rank, right? Like, that's not fair and blah, blah, blah." Right? People gave a huge fuss about that, right? And like it was like some people cared about it, some people were like, nah, it's not a big deal because GBL's not that serious or whatever, right? People were such like so I think the majority of people were super critical of coaches doing that. And then all of a
Mhm.
sudden, I see these same people that are so critical being like hopping in all these team calls for like team formats,
Yeah.
competitive team formats. Like what?
You know what? I'll
Like
be very
if
honest.
you
I
said
didn't
GBL is
actually.
not that like important back like as a competitive format, what about team formats? You don't think that's competitive? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
crazy
I
to me.
personally didn't realize that this was something that most teams did until I think maybe like 2 or even 3 seasons in. Because when we started
Yeah.
off, we were just like obviously we team build together and stuff like that, but then we just play on our own. And I did find it a bit strange because I was thinking at the same time, I was just like, well, like if you're all on, you know, there's the whole piloting thing. But at the same time, I also do acknowledge the fact that some players can't really be piloted. And so it
Yeah, yeah, not
definitely
everyone
isn't a
is, but it's
perfect
just
system.
like
Yeah.
it just removes some of
It
the
does. Yeah. Yeah.
validity of it, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll
Yeah.
see
I
some of
totally
these players that are like factions or like online self
agree.
like freaking, legends, right? Like just people that just never lose. And they
Yeah.
show up to an in-person tournament and they're just like struggling big time.
Don't know what to do. Yeah, it's true. It's
I don't
true.
know. Like, and
Yeah.
I always sit there and think, right? I'm like, you
Made your
know,
own bed.
they,
Yeah.
yeah, they probably had all these tabs open, all these sims, all this screen share going on.
Yeah.
Now they lost their crutch, when they
Yeah.
show up. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
the thing.
true.
Another big thing that annoys me is when people sit there for like 5 minutes trying to come up with a team. I was like, dude, like it's
Yeah, we
how
know you
long
don't
can
like
you really think, right? Like, I guarantee if I sat there for an extra
Mhm.
10 minutes to think of a line, I still might get hard countered. Like,
Yeah.
what's the extra thinking going to do? I mean, I'm sure there's some thinking and planning that needs to happen, but like, dude, just lock in and like I could if you gave me 30 seconds lock in team for every battle, I'm done. All right, I got it. And
Yeah.
actually that's a big reason why I prefer to play on stream at these tournaments because I know my opponent can't sit there for like 5 minutes, right?
Oh,
Like
and then they're
the
feeling the
judges have them
pressure.
on
Yeah,
timer, right?
it's
When we're
true.
off stage and stuff, like there's no one really keeping track of that stuff. And I'm not going to be the kind of
Mm.
person to be like, yo, like gotta lock
Slow
in,
play.
gotta lock in, right? But
Judge.
that is something. Look, and look, if you take a long time to, I don't know what you're doing right now because your thing's frozen. It looks like
slow,
you're just raising your hand
slow
to go to
play.
the bathroom
Slow.
or something. but look, if you take a long time to lock in, like I'm not even hating and stuff, but definitely if you want, especially if you want to, if you attend these in person tournaments, definitely get used to lock in sooner because like if you haven't been on stage before and you're on stage for the first time, yeah, and the judge is calling you like you got 30 seconds left and you're panicking, ooh, that set might not go so well. So definitely start getting used to some of it.
Yeah.
Again, like I get it. People have to think through stuff and whatever, and maybe I should think more, but um, it's yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I
it's
definitely agree because also
a bit
like I
rough.
remember when in-person tournaments started, I actually stopped I stopped playing my matches with um like the PvP matrix around. So obviously like
Yeah,
I would like go into everything before the match, yeah. But then I was like, in between matches or anything like that, I'm not going to touch it because I'm just hindering myself if I'm then, looking at matchups halfway through and stuff like that. Whereas I should be able to just look at the team list and be like, okay, this is what I need to do. Do you know what I mean? Because again,
something
in
else you
real
have to
life,
watch out for now too.
hmm,
You better cut it out of your routine.
no.
that Mexican
What, the
music.
Mexican
You
music?
can't be listening to that. You think they're gonna let you listen to Mexican music when you're playing at Melbourne? Hell no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ain't no Mexican music gonna save you. Yeah, Mexican music could help you 500 elo at the comfort of your sofa that you got for 2 weeks, but it ain't gonna help you at Melbourne.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna help you get that world's qualification.
I'll have to internalize it. I'll have to work on
Yeah,
getting just a running commentary of Mexican music in my head.
yeah. I'm just saying.
But actually, you
Anyway,
know what? One thing I did learn from like the last 2 days, which I thought was like quite important. So I was writing down like the teams, my opponent teams, and just like just in case I notice any sort of like trends in the meta or anything like that. But what I found was in between matches where I'm writing down the teams, it kind of lets me disconnect from the last game, and also at the same time, so disconnect from the emotions of the last game, but also while I'm writing down the teams, thinking like, okay, well, how could I have done that better? And that little gap just seemed really necessary. Where even if I had a bad match, even if the game was bad, while I'm writing down the teams, I'm like disconnecting from that bad feeling, and I'm going into the next match a bit more sort of like fresh. And so I think I'm going to do something similar when I'm playing in a live setting in a regional, where like I write down the opponent's teams anyway after a match, and my own team, but like maybe writing it a bit more deliberately, like writing out the full name of the Pokemon, just so it's taking a bit of extra time, and just so it's like allowing me to, fully have that little section of like, okay, let's calm down and let's, like look into the next match thing. So I thought
mm,
that was quite crucial, and I think that's something I can take into a live setting as well. It's kind of cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get down that because I'm sitting there just like watching like Netflix or YouTube and stuff, and like I swear, like I was running a Zoomer lead in Fancy Cup, and
Mhm.
I literally started 2 bubbles behind them because I took me so long to look back at my screen. I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Again,
why
I'm
I
not
couldn't do that for
excuses why
this.
I haven't hit
Yeah,
legend yet because I've been doing this since like GBL dropped since like the very beginning.
uh-huh.
I just don't take it seriously. But
Yeah. Well, this is
um
the thing. Yeah, this was why I had to do that this weekend, because I was like, anything like putting anything that's not Mexican music. Yeah, I was like, maybe I'll get too much into the music. Like if I put anything on in the background, it's too distracting. I have to have like notifications off. I was like, let me actually do this
uh
properly. So yeah,
that's something. Anyway, getting back to the comments, we definitely went
big tangent.
sidetracked here
Yeah,
from
yeah.
infamous
Last thing I
matches.
want to say
Draco Biz
actually
comment. Yeah.
is, and I can't speak for Sylph, but from the way that we organize the Asia Pacific Championships, one of the main things that I've focused on was to make the player experience as um, as nice and as free as possible. So it's 2 matches a week. So I'm like, well, anything that I can do to mean that the players can play those 2 matches without feeling like this is starting to become a burden. And I think, like you said, things like making the rules clearer, perhaps maybe some other things that maybe there are other things that you can do to, make it a bit more seamless. I know with like Battle Frontier, the whole looking at your opponent's previous teams isn't as easy as it was in Sylph. So, that's perhaps something that they can improve in the future. Because I think, yeah, anything that you can do to make the player experience as easy as possible is only going to help you, you know, get more life out of your format.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. So we'll see how the grassroots formats come out. I mean, I think even before Sylph like closed his doors officially and announced that, the participation in solo Sylph was just kind of dying off in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hopeful for some of the grassroots formats, but like I don't know how stuff like Devon's really gonna fare, right? When
Yeah.
everyone's mostly focused on the championship series right now, which
Mm.
makes sense, right? People only have so much bandwidth. If
Yeah.
they're focused on the championship series and Battle Frontier or whatever team formats around, that's a lot of time investment, right? Do people really have
Mm-hmm.
time for
Yeah.
another grassroots format? Maybe if you don't have your own tournaments, but I think we might see more participation from like the TPC regions on those than anything else, if I were to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ginger Ninja says, "Big up Liverpool, hoping everyone is weak to Crawdons." Good games on another second place finish. Best part about these tournaments is just meeting everyone. Hope to see you both at EUIC.
Yeah.
Let's
So Ginger Ninja, a Liverpool local. Yeah.
yeah.
He's always banging out the socials for the Liverpool regionals.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I've seen
yeah.
Ginger Ninja. I don't know if I met him at a previous EUIC or Worlds, but I definitely seen him battle on stream too and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, definitely strong player. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you at EUIC, and hopefully by then my hair is back to being black and not whatever that. Like okay, that's the thing that I'm most worried about. I don't
uh,
even care if my well, we'll see, right? Because I don't know what it looks
yeah.
like, but my hair is bleached and super light brown or blonde or whatever. It's more so
Mm.
when it grows back, it's going to be such a stark difference because my hair's so dark, right? Like if I had brown hair, it's a different story,
Yeah.
right? But it's going to look so funky.
Honestly, I was most worried about like any potential damage. That was like the main my
Well,
main concern
no,
because I
I'm
was like
not.
I
I
can
mean,
just shave it off and then it's fine, you know. At
yeah, I'm
least I
not as worried
assume.
about the damage too because like there's like women that have really long hair that bleach their hair all the time and dye
Yeah,
it.
but
Like
it's
it's
different for
like
different hairs, so that's the thing. So like I don't know what my hair is
yeah.
like. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know what your
Oh,
hair's like. Maybe it's thin, maybe it's thick.
my hair's like super thick and stubborn.
Yeah,
So like
maybe
that's
that makes
why
it better.
no, so I called them into
Mm.
set up appointment and look, I'm telling you this is why I couldn't record because it's literally going to be over 4 hours of bleaching my hair, and like I honestly don't know what color my hair is going to be after 4 hours. It might
Do you
still
sit
be
there with
like
the foil on your head and underneath one of
yeah,
those
yeah. I'll
head
send you a
dryers?
selfie. I'll send you a selfie, right?
Yeah.
So you can see
Yeah.
it. I thought about GBLing, but like
Uh,
tomorrow's my last day to GBL to try to hit it without me doing the clown meme. I don't know what's going to happen. What the server's going to be like there. I don't want to risk it. So I'm gonna just sit there for 4 hours. I don't know. Maybe I'll like bring some headphones and like watch some like Netflix or something. But I might run out
Yeah.
of battery on my phone. Who knows? I need to figure some stuff out. Um, but yeah, we'll see. That's gonna be ugh.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny as
It's
well
gonna
is
be a
that I actually
time.
might dye my hair blonde in the future. I just didn't want to do it now, but I might do it in the summer.
Yeah, you just yeah. Once I'm looking real good with this bleach hair, you're like, dang. I was like,
Yeah, maybe I should get some
Caleb,
hair.
Caleb got the W here somehow. Still. um,
Mm.
Tiwa Cell says, "Are we sure Anicor has the same jelly beans as Caleb? Maybe they're a knockoff that don't taste as bad. The rule is actually 24 hours for any new move. Oh, this is regarding the like the move set
Mm.
for stuff, not just at the start of a season, which also applies to stuff like community day moves, and also 24 hours for new mons. We've had this rule for a while though, at least since June, possibly longer than that.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
I like new mons and I like new moves when it's something like a community day. But I think the GBL season needs to be an exception because again, like with the new moves that we get outside of the move update, they're given incrementally to the rest to the world, right? So you know, time zones that are earlier will get access to it before time zones that are later on. Whereas when it comes to the GBL update, that happens all at once for everyone at the same time. So there isn't really any accessibility issues. So I feel like if they were, you know, I feel like that's a very fine and valid exception to make in terms of this rule.
yeah. So I
I
okay.
don't
So
know any
here,
reason for not so far. This is the thing.
well, so I guess to play devil's advocate, one
Yeah.
reason why I could see them having this is that if you spend all your hard-earned money traveling somewhere and then you prepped all the stuff and then a move drops and all your prep goes out the window because everything completely changes to meta, right? Or especially on a GBL season,
Mm,
right? That's going to be even more different. And so for
yeah.
some people, they might argue, man, like I've been prepping for months and I can only go to one tournament, two tournaments a year, and
But
I
you're
got to
still
make
going to
it
have
count.
issues. You're still going to have issues because, like, let's say certain moves might be buffed or debuffed. So that's
Well,
still going to
that's speaking
change.
like GBL specifically, right? But
No,
maybe
no, no. This
but
is in the tournament as well. So let's say, for example, again, like Scold, Polyrath. Yeah,
you
the
can't use
buff
it.
on no, you're allowed to use Scold.
Oh, you are?
You're just not allowed to use Icy Wind because that was an addition to the move pool.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's
I
like
mean,
you're
yeah, that's like a
still
slight
using a buff.
change.
It's a slight
Look,
change, but it
I'm
could.
just coming up with like a
Yeah,
potential
yeah, yeah,
option. I'm not saying I
yeah.
agree. I like me personally.
I want
I'm
to
like,
know.
look,
I want to know a
as long as you're
genuine
able
reason.
to get the move in your specific region where the tournament's hosted,
Yeah.
that's fine. Because like if it's like a move that drops your local time, like Friday or Saturday or something,
Mhm.
and someone, excuse me, someone like had a friend log into your account to
Mm.
evolve the Pokemon to get
Or
the
even
move
let's
in
say,
Australia,
like,
and
let's
then
say they flew over. Let's say it was actually, I don't know, they legally managed to do it somehow, right? Or I don't
it's
know,
pretty
is
hard
that
to
possible?
legally do
Is
it
that
in
is that,
time.
is that difficult to
Yeah.
legally do? Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
it's
enough.
like a
Yeah.
15-hour flight or something from Australia to here. Like
Fair
it
enough.
doesn't. By the time you land, you pretty much start like at the same time you left at.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, no, it's not.
uh,
It's a little bit
well,
hard to
yeah.
do,
Okay. So
but
people doing illegal stuff.
yeah. So I'm just saying,
Um,
like, if like this move is released on Saturday local time in Charlotte, right,
mm,
and you somehow got it on Friday night or whatever, then like you
yeah,
shouldn't be
I
able to
agree.
use it,
Yeah.
right? But if everyone could get it, I don't know. And that's just my thought, right? Because for me,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I mean, I do prep some stuff, but for me, like, I think competition is more exciting when you have people just like figure out something on the spot. Something I really want, and
Uh,
I doubt it'll ever
like
happen, right? But
auto
anyone at
Rex format or
TPCI, if
something.
you're listening, right? Because it's more of a TPCI ask than a Niantic ask.
Uh,
I think I brought this up in the previous episodes too before, especially with Speedy. Um, is when we had Twitch Rivals Pokemon Go, they just gave us
yeah.
like a 24 Pokemon whitelist that you could use in the tournament. You had to build
Mm,
teams from that. Dude, that would be so dope. Imagine Worlds. You show up at Worlds on Thursday, right? And on Thursday night or something, they release the meta and say you have to build a team of whatever with these 30 Pokemon, right? But you don't know what it's going to be. That would be so
are
dope. I
you are
feel
you
like.
talking like they have to go and catch it,
No,
or
no,
they're
no.
just going to tell you a
You could just
random
have it.
format?
You could just have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The catching part,
That'd be
that's like the
interesting.
rule. That's
Yeah.
something Niantic will probably want. But I think, that would be fun too because that's,
That'd be kind of
I
funny.
mean, talk
Yeah.
about accessibility's sake. That's
Randomly.
real
Yeah.
accessibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's like pure accessibility at
Mhm.
its finest, right? Only Pokemon caught within like you have to do age 0 or something when you
Yeah.
when you enter the tournament, right? Only those Pokemon are eligible.
Uh,
Day number 2, age 1, right? Like.
yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. Um.
Or even more interesting is
mm,
you have everyone draft their Pokemon from a pool,
Yeah, that'd be
you
interesting
know.
as well. Actually, to be honest, yeah.
But you
I
have to
think you know what.
separate
I think
pools of
if
players
they
though to
announce
make that
the,
fair.
I think if they
That's
announce the format,
mhm.
announcing it a week prior would be cool because that then also means that the players have time to prepare. If it's a world championships,
uh
they're
I
likely
don't.
going to have. You don't want anyone preparing at all.
No, no, it's not that. I think if you're going to give people a chance to prepare like a week or like a few months, give them
Mm,
a few months. Because I feel like a week's so frantic that like people that have more time on their hands in that 1 week will do a lot better, right? Whereas if
mm,
you have a busy work schedule, you need a couple months of prep because you can only fit in certain prep time, right?
yeah,
Like imagine you're like a dad or something. You have a bunch of kids you have to take care of that week, right? You can't just ignore them for the week, right? I think like if
I'm sure they'd
they're gonna
understand.
be allowed to prep, just let them prep for like a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's just a pipe dream. I think it'd be interesting, super interesting though for the meta. Imagine the usage chart, be like, we have no idea what the usage is going to look like, right? And people that are really good at team building will just definitely. I don't know. I guess like you could definitely phone up your friends, right, and have like be on
Yeah,
calls like all night doing stuff. So
which is probably
maybe
what
put
they would
everyone in a black
do.
box.
So.
They have to build their team 30 minutes before the tournament starts. Dude, that'd be wild. That might be a little too much. But
You really
hey,
want to
if
see
I
the
was a
world
game
burn,
director, maybe that's what I'd do.
yeah.
Yuso says, man, I always use both buttons on my blazer slash suit. Why? To make all you who are sticklers for one button mad. Let's be real honest, folks. One button versus two buttons doesn't make a big difference. It's the suit and the confidence of the wearer.
Okay, you saw.
What do
Let
you
me just
think
ask
about
you
that?
this. Yeah,
What do
let
you
me
think
ask
about
you
that?
this.
Yeah.
How do you sit down in a chair? Do you do it comfortably? Do you love sitting down in a chair when you're wearing your suits with your two buttons done up? Yeah, or do you dread having to sit down because you're like, oh, that second button's really getting in the way. It could pop up at any time. And you know what? Even when I do sit down, yeah, now I've got this big puff in my blazer. Yeah, people are going to think I'm pregnant. So that's all I have to say on the guy. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that point of view because even if you did the one button, you're supposed to unbutton it when you sit down. You only button it when you're standing up, or like you're not
You're
sitting
supposed to
down.
unbutton the whole thing when you sit down.
Just the blazer, yeah, the one button. You keep it buttoned.
I keep it buttoned, yeah. Because my
You
whole
like
thing is that, like,
really really form fitting blazers, like it's going to be too tight. It's not
even
like
with
you
the
like
one button on when you sit
yeah. If
down.
you have a nice blazer, yeah, I have a few blazers or tuxes that are like very
I
form
haven't
fitting
worn
and like
suits in
you can.
ages, so I can't really like think. But like from when I did wear
Did you return
suits,
the
like
one that we casted together with?
no, I was supposed to do that today. Oh, I'll do it
Oh.
tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. Yeah, yeah. From when I did wear suits though, I would always like button up the top one, and even when I sat down, I would just like keep that button
I mean,
on
you
the top.
can if you want to, but typically
It was mainly
speaking,
the
I don't know if
bottom one.
it's
But
I don't
yeah.
know if it's really good for the suit, but if it's a well made suit, you shouldn't be able to
Mm,
even button it because you'll be very form fitting. Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah. I mean, look, people could do what they want to do, but I think obviously this is a subjective take, but I think majority of people, especially people in the fashion side of things, and I'm not that one of those people. I'm just saying I agree with them though. The two button look is just not as good. It just doesn't look as like if you ever look at like clean looking like people wearing suits, right? They're looking real sharp and dapper. They got the one button. I'm just trying to help out John Gardner here, or whoever else that may be wearing suits, right? I'm not saying you can wear the two button if you want to wear two buttons, right? Just like how I was telling Anicor, I was like, you can not wear a blazer for our commentary stuff if you want to, but I'm trying to make you look clean, right? For the look, and my
Yeah.
suit guy, he is top notch, and he's always like,
I trust your suit guy. Yeah.
never do more than one button. If you have
Fair
two
enough.
buttons, always do one, right? And that's it. And you unbutton. And this
If
guy
you have
is like
three buttons, would
straight
you
up
do
from like
one?
out of Kingsman.
If you had three buttons,
What
would you
kind
do
of
one? Because I
blazers have
wouldn't do
three
one.
buttons?
I don't know. Like some,
No, I've
like
never
you get
seen
some which are
those.
like double breasted or like specifically long.
You have
Um,
to show me a picture. I think typically you do one, but I
I
buy all
would
my
do
shoes from
two.
the same guy. So like
Yeah,
if I buy a three button one from him, if there are any in the shop, he would definitely tell me. Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough.
I mean, look. Okay,
Um,
I feel like this is a good example, right?
uh,
It's like should you cut the tag off your shirts, right, or your jackets? You don't have to. You could keep it on. You know why? To make all the sticklers for people that wanted to get the tags cut off mad and upset. Look, you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to keep a tag on your suit and stuff or your jackets or clothes, be my guest, right? If there is one, I of course will tell you and be like, hey, look, you have the tag on. If you tell
how
me,
do you
hey,
take tags off? Are you talking about the shop tag or like
no, I'm talking
the
about like
laundry
literally the
tag?
price tag with a little piece of
Oh
plastic
right,
holding
yeah,
a piece of paper, right?
yeah,
Like the one that you're supposed to take off, right? Supposed to, I guess some people might not. But if I saw that, I would tell them, right? If it's especially someone I know, maybe not a stranger, but if someone I know, I'm like, hey, look, you saw the tag on. If they say, I like to keep it on to make people like you upset when they see a tag, I would say,
fair
look,
enough.
I ain't gonna be ripping it off you. Like if that's what you want to do, that's what you can do, right?
They got what they
If
wanted.
John Gardner or any commentator, whatever, wants to button up two buttons on their suit, blazer, be my guest. I'm just letting you know. And I say the same thing to Butters every time. This man being tying up his button up thing with no tie, right? You tie the top button if you have a tie. You unbutton the top one if you don't have a tie. But he likes to do this weird like button thing, and he got his red blazer valet driver like look, and I'm trying to like help him out. Like I'm trying to like make my guy look good, right? Like I know there's people that like it here or there, but it's I think if he saw my suit guy in LA, I'm trying to get Butters to come down to LA so my suit guy could hook him up with something good. Like the suit guy would definitely be like, no,
No saving
that's
you,
not the
brother.
way. No, he'll try to save him for sure. He'll
Yeah,
spend all the time in the world. Like this
I read that. I
consultation is
read
like 3+
that.
hours for one suit. He'll make it happen if he needs
That
to.
is sick. That is
Yeah.
sick.
Anyway. A Christopher says, time is an illusion. The whole daylight savings conversation hurt my head. And then Michael St. James says, the issue isn't really whether or not you gain or lose an hour. It's more to do with the energy you use and the cost of energy at the time you use it. Based on a bunch of utterly useless studies and lobby pressure, the world leaders concluded it would be
That makes
economically
sense.
more beneficial to gain an hour in autumn/winter and lose an hour in spring/summer.
Because you
How
have people putting the lights
how
on more.
does the saying go? Money talks, huh?
Mm.
Yeah,
Because
but
you'd have people putting the lights on more in it, so that kind of makes sense.
yeah, but I've seen counter studies as well say that the effects aren't as like drastic as you would think, and because of daylight savings, there's actually more like car accidents and stuff because
Oh,
more people fall asleep at the wheel, especially in the springtime when you lose an hour. of sleep, right? Because a lot of people are sleeping 1 hour less, or their
Mm.
bodies are adjusted to waking up 1 hour sooner than they used to. And so there's actually a decent amount of car accidents every year from people just falling asleep at the wheel because of daylight savings in the springtime. So, maybe there is some energy saved, but what cost? I don't know. It's just, look, if anyone listening that actually has influence over that stuff, man, you got some time to kill listening to us ramble about nothing. I'm just saying, but I appreciate you if you are one of those people, and I appreciate you even more if you can abolish daylight savings.
Hey,
I'm
I
sorry,
think the
farmers, though.
first, yeah, I think the
Huh?
first thing that, you know, if they do have that kind of power is the calendar idea, because I noticed nobody really addressed that. And I
You're
think
on
that
your
was
own this
really the
one.
point of like, that
Yeah.
was the point of my whole
You're
rant
on
there.
your
But
own island listening to your own
I don't
Mexican
know. I
music
don't know
about
if,
that idea, and
yeah,
ain't no one else is around with the same thought process.
let's just keep that in mind, the calendar idea, right? Let's
Something
not
that I
dismiss it
do
entirely.
actually recommend a lot if is splitting the work days. I hate that it's like 9 to 5 is like the standard work days. I wish like some people work like the mornings and some people work like the evenings, right?
Mhm.
Because you would significantly cut down traffic. That
Yeah.
alone. And think about it from a service perspective, not too bad because some stores might be open way
How would
longer
that
hours.
work from an individual point of view? Are you like you're working morning time? Are you working less hours in a day
So
as
maybe
a
you
result?
work like so instead of 9 to 5, you work
Yeah.
6 to 2.
They do this though.
Some people, yeah, but it's not as
Like
universal. I
a
think
lot of like
majority of places
retail
are
places
still
and stuff
roughly
like that.
9 to 5, right?
Yeah. But it's
So
like
that's where you have
if
all
you
this
aren't
backup
open
traffic.
if you aren't open for extended times, then you probably have no reason to put more than one person on a shift, you know?
Well, something else that I think will help a lot too, and this probably helps more for like white collar workers, more than blue collar workers, but is having like 2 days a week work from home, and then 2 days a
Mm.
week you are in the office, and then maybe the middle day, the Wednesday, you work like half in, half out, because that will cut down the traffic a lot too. Especially if you're able to do your work from home and you're able to be productive. Like a lot of people prefer working from home or like that,
Yeah.
Friday work from home option or whatever, right? Like it's just nice to do it. That would like it just like kills me when I see so much traffic, especially around work hours. I'm just imagining, and I'm not even one of those people that had to sit through that, but I just imagine people that had to sit through that every day, and how many hours of your life, how many years of your life you're wasting sitting in traffic listening to two Donnies talk about some random stuff on their podcast, right? Like, I'm sure we got a lot of listeners because they're just sitting in traffic. And
Yeah,
look,
maybe you
we're doing
shouldn't
what
be
we can to help you
advocating for
pass the
these
time, but
yeah.
I wish you didn't have to sit there. I mean, that's why I'm sitting there listening to our own podcast and I'm sitting in traffic too, right? You don't think
Hey,
I'm doing it?
once the traffic gets
Dude,
reduced, we might get a reduce in listener count. You know what I mean? So
maybe, but you know what? I'm hopeful. I think if
more
we make
traffic, the
good
better.
content, yeah, I think if we make good content, people at home will be no. I think that, you know what I think. I think there's so much traffic and stuff and commutes. People
Mm,
don't have enough podcasts to listen to still,
yeah,
right? Unless you listen to literally every podcast under the sun,
yeah.
people run out of content to listen to.
Bro,
Because I know for
I
me,
ran
like,
out earlier this week.
yeah.
I was looking through
Well,
the
you
top
wait a minute, you
chart.
run out. You didn't even listen to our own. Oh, that's why you
I
listened to our
did.
episode,
Yeah,
probably,
yeah,
right? Because you ran out of stuff.
Hey, it was a part
Hey,
of my
our old
rotation.
co-host Speedy Chief has a podcast too, so that's another thing you can
It
listen
does.
to
That's
as well.
another thing to listen to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Show Six
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
It's him and Z's Wireless, which if you haven't seen, just check out Speedy Chief's Twitter. He has a link on that too. If you can't find it
Mhm.
on Spotify, I think it's only on Spotify at the moment. But it looks like I think they're going to be doing an episode after every event rather than every week, so a little bit different format.
Yeah.
But yeah, could be
Short
interesting.
form as
Anyway,
well.
huh?
Interesting. Or like shorter form.
Yeah, shorter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he emphasized that too in the publication. Kind of this
Yeah.
3 hour
Yeah,
rambles.
which makes sense to be fair. And I guess there's an audience for everything.
Yeah. One podcast that goes even longer than us,
Who?
the BTW podcast, Begin to Winter podcast. They actually
How long do they go for?
dude, sometimes their episodes are usually 3+ hours. There's sometimes 4 hours. And they got
Wow.
like 5 guys on there too. Oh wait,
That would
is it
make
five?
sense then, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. But they talk
I
about a
feel
lot of
like
things.
with
They don't
five
just talk about
people,
Pokemon Go. They talk about TCG and VGC too. So
okay. Yeah,
and
that's a
so
lot to
yeah.
go through.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
check them out too from time to time, which is nice. Yeah. Yeah, we had him on as guests too.
Mhm.
Anyway, last comments. Ma Davis says, I don't care much about changing the calendar, but when you touch on daylight savings, uh, or not savings time. Oh,
Uh,
it's daylight saving, not daylight savings. It's daylight saving.
well, I think daylight savings is like the when you're chatting about, you know, the general daylight saving system. Do you know what I mean? You know, you
I don't
just
know what you're
like,
talking about right now,
in
but Mod
short,
Davis
you
says
just
it's
call
not
it.
savings; it's just daylight saving. Apparently,
Yeah, yeah, but like if you called it like, yeah, daylight save. Yeah, yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
I've still lost
I
on what you're
just,
trying to make, but I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
just finish
I
reading
was
this
just saying,
comment.
it's like it feels like a bit of like a colloquial term. You know what I mean? You know, you'd be like, yeah, daylight savings. You know, like how you might shorten. I can't think of an example, but when I do, I'll give you an example.
You could have
Yeah,
just not
okay.
said anything for
I,
the past 5 minutes, and I think I would have still retained the same knowledge I have right now. Let me
okay,
continue with
like
this.
when you say like, oh yeah, I'm going to the shops. Yeah, it's like, you know, you're kind of grouping the whole thing as opposed to being like, I'm going to the shopping.
Anyway,
Good enough.
so touch on daylight saving
Right.
time, which I am passionate about. First, not changing clocks is better for health, whether on DST or standard time. Heart attacks increase the first 3 days after spring forward, which is when you lose an
Wow.
hour. The Monday after spring forward, there is an increase in traffic crashes. Oh, like I just said,
Mhm.
Ma Davis knows, and workplace injuries. Yeah, probably people
Wow.
sleep deprived. They're less careful about
Mhm.
stuff, especially if you're working with heavy machinery. But even better than just not changing clocks is to be on permanent standard time. We sleep better when our body's internal rhythm is synced to the sun, and bad sleep is
Yeah, I
associated with
agree.
many negative health outcomes.
Mhm.
Ancor knows how important sleep is.
Nah, he's got a good point. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, even the whole sunshine thing, like I'm a big or like daylight thing in general, I'm a big proponent of that. Where like the the daylight interacts with your internal circadian rhythm, and that's what indicates for you to wake up. And then equally, as it becomes sunset, it does the same thing and indicates for
Dude,
you
I
that,
should be
like,
asleep right
you're.
now. That it is dark here, but it's only 6 p.m.
Yeah, well, I don't
But
know. Sometimes we have to make exceptions,
yeah,
But I mean, in an ideal world, like you would, wake up with the sun and then go to sleep with the lack of sun. And like
yeah.
back in the days before, I guess you had candles and stuff. But realistically, once it did get dark, what more is there to do? Have
Yeah.
dinner, go sleep.
Well, that does it for our YouTube comments. Thank you for sharing some of those stats, Ma Davis and others.
Hmm.
But we're gonna have some events to discuss here,
Hmm.
and this one you're not going to be here for the Go Tour in LA, the Sinnoh Go Tour.
Nah, 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 nah.
But we have Origin Forms Dialga and Palkia being released
Yeah.
first on the Go Tour, and then eventually globally. So even if you're not here in LA, you can still do it. But the origin form of Dialga and origin form of Palkia will be interesting. They all also can be shiny, which is kind of neat. I think you have to catch them in their origin form though, so you have to
What,
just
for
grind
them to be
for.
shiny?
Well, not even just for them to be shiny. You have to catch them just for the origin
Oh,
form. You
right.
know how like there's like Giratina
Origin.
origin, Giratina
Yeah.
altered. I think it's something like that, right? Just like different forms. I think these are gonna be
Oh,
pretty
so
strong, but
when you catch it, it's not Dialga or Palkia.
it's origin form Dialga or origin form
Okay, and
Palkia.
there's no like form change or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay,
That's
interesting.
what I gather, at least.
Hmm.
Um, so this is gonna be interesting, and I think this could be also honestly our tea topic for this week too, because I didn't really see anything else really
Hmm.
big on it. Did you read this thing by the way about the origin
So
stuff?
not fully. So I was thinking like it would be good for us to go over it because I
Yeah.
like briefly looked at it, but there's a lot going on in Sinnoh Tour, so it was a bit overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I guess we'll go through it. So yeah,
Okay, so let me
take it
let me
away.
break it down for you. So there's a venture effect that's being introduced in Pokemon Go, and this is tied strictly to the Palkia origin form of Palkia and Dialga. We're relating to especially their like specialty moves, right? So Roar Time is the one for Dialga, and if you use 5,000 Stardust plus 5 Dialga candy, you distort time for 6 minutes, pausing the timer on the following items: incense, daily adventure incense, lucky eggs, and star pieces. Daily adventure incense is pretty wild too, because that means you could be trying to catch a Galarian bird for like a hot second, right? For a couple hours
Uh-huh.
even.
Okay. Interesting.
And so you can extend it with increments of 5 minutes by using more
Minutes.
Stardust in Dialga Candy, and the timer can be extended up to 2 hours each time you tap use, and you can tap use again to add additional time up to 24 hours total.
Wow.
So this is not
Okay.
just during the event. This is like permanently. It's a
So
means in
what
the
were the
game.
bonuses again?
So
So
so this is just for Dialga, right? Roar
this is
time.
for Dialga.
You
Yeah.
essentially pause the timer, so like you extend the
Uh-huh.
timer infinitely for Lucky Egg, Star
Lucky
Piece,
Egg, Star Piece.
Incense, and Daily Adventure Incense. Obviously, you can't drop Incense and Daily Adventure Incense at the same time, so it's one Dialga.
Right. Okay.
So
Interesting.
now, and then on the flip side, there is so you can't do Roar Time Adventure effect at the same time as the Palkia one. And the Palkia one's Spatial Rend, right? So
Okay.
also Adventure thing. And for this one, same thing, 5,000 Stardust, 5 Palkia Candy. You distort space for 10 minutes, allowing for encounters with wild Pokemon at an increased distance. So you have so you encounter Pokemon at a wider range. Maybe like how the glitch was originally, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, but this is
from
like
what I've
actually
heard from
intended
people,
mechanic.
that's
Yeah.
what they were
So this is
saying.
actually intended mechanic and up
Okay.
to again for up to 24 hours, extended by 2 hours.
Okay. One
Um,
thing I heard, which I'm imagining is probably not true now, but was there some sort of like Stardust multiplier?
no, you just
No.
misheard, I think, whatever they
Okay.
said. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
no
Obviously did.
multiplier.
I
Roar
was
Time
really
and
excited about that.
Spatial Rend are Dialga and Palkia's Origin Form exclusive moves, respectively, and they're
Mm.
both Dragon moves. We don't really know what the stats are for PvP
So
yet,
we've
but
got what's it? 150 power on Roar of Time.
yeah.
Let's see if what
And
150 power moves we have.
then 95 for Spatial Rend, but we don't know how much energy it
Okay.
is. So that's going to be a big
So
step up.
150 power is currently you have moves such as Draco Meteor. Oh, actually, there's okay. Well, it's could change, but it's apparently been data mined at 65. The thing is Draco Meteor. So in the actual games, Roar of Time um, means that like when you use Roar of Time, you can't move on the next turn. So I wonder
Yeah,
if
that
they're
won't
going to
be.
implement anything like, as in like a defense drop or something like that.
Well, I think that's why
Um,
the Venture effect is like that, right? It pauses everything.
oh right, okay.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. So right
Um,
now, the data mined, I guess, in
it's the same
PvPoke,
as
it's
Draco Meteor
it's exact. It's a such Draco meter without debuffing yourself
without
by 2
the
stages,
yeah.
which is
Okay, that's
pretty
cool.
solid.
Yeah,
And the Spatial Rend is 50 energy for 95 damage, so less energy efficient, but it's 1.9 DPE compared to Outrage. So it's
and again,
more
you don't
energy
need
efficient
to.
than Outrage.
Wow, and you don't
Um,
need to debuff yourself. For Palkia, I
well,
wait.
Outrage
Do you
doesn't debuff
think
yourself
these
anyway,
would
so
be
Palkia right now has
no? Because
Draco too.
Palkia has Draco. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying Spatial Rend. Oh,
Yeah.
I was
Will these
Spatial Rend
be
because Outrage.
on? Do we know if these will be accessible to the non-origin forms?
No, I don't think so.
No.
My guess, but I don't
Mm,
know exact specifically, but
yeah,
I would guess probably not. Yeah.
it's a shame.
'Cause I think it's an Origin thing. But anyway, yeah. So we'll have to see what the stats are on Origin
Mm.
forms. But
Yeah.
I
Do
mean,
we have the
Origin form
stats?
Giratina is pretty good.
Because we might do. As
Maybe
in
it
like,
might be,
because
but like
obviously
nothing's yeah,
they
nothing's
come
like
from the main game.
yeah, nothing's set in stone yet. So let me see if they're
They're not on
Dialga.
PvPoke.
It's not in PvPoke yet, so we don't
No.
know.
Okay. Well.
But that'll be interesting because Dialga
Yeah.
is kind of
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
beast in right now in Master League. Well, it has been
Yeah.
forever. Okay,
Well,
so
let's
let me break down
see.
the math for you though, right? So these bonuses sound pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, so let me pull out the calculator, unless you want to do the math yourself,
No, I was
Mister
about to do it in it, but like I
Mister
stopped.
Mathematician here. All right,
I'll
so
let you.
yeah, so how much? So the real question is all of this worth it?
Yeah.
Right? Is it all worth it? So what we got 1,440 minutes per day, right? In a 24-hour period. So let's say if you were to pause everything for 24 hours. Um, so actually no, realistically, let's be realistic about this. You're not really gonna be grinding for 24 hours straight, right?
No.
So let's say 8 hours, right? You're gonna play for 8 hours, right? On a big event, right? Go Fest or something, right? So 8 hours, 480 minutes, right? 480. Let's say we're going to do the roar of time, right? So it's only 6 minutes increments, right? So that'll be you have to use roar of time 80 different times to
Mhm.
to do it, and that is 400 Dialga candy, and on top of that, that is also 400,000 Stardust.
Wow.
Is that worth it for a full day
Yeah,
of play
yeah.
using it? Because
So in a
yes, you
more
don't have to use the
realistic
star. You don't have to drop
situation,
another star piece.
yeah,
You don't have to drop another incense or lucky egg. But 400,000?
yeah.
Like,
Okay,
can you even
let's
like
say a
what's
more
the point? Do you
realistic
even make
situation.
up do you even make up the difference? Like, what's the point of
Probably
making
not.
the difference if? Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's say, for example, there is a spotlight hour.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think from a lucky egg and star piece point of view, you'd probably rather use an extra lucky egg or star piece. Yeah, I feel like those are accessible enough that you probably wouldn't want to pump Dialga candy and Stardust into getting those, especially the star piece. It feels kind of counterintuitive. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
say,
Definitely.
yeah, do you know what I mean? So let's say, for example, then you go for extended incense instead, like extended daily incense, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Um, and you do so it's 10 minutes on the Palkia one, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you do the Palkia thing for the whole spotlight hour as well. So that's six of them.
Yeah.
So honestly, that one doesn't sound too bad. Like, let's say, for example, the Palkia one, yeah? So 30,000 Stardust you're spending. And
Well,
then
because so
also,
Palkia wants 10 minutes, right?
yeah. So
So for that one, so if you're to do the 8 hour
for an
increment.
hour. No, just for 1 hour. We're thinking like a spotlight hour.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can do it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're doing 8 hours for the Palkia
Yeah.
one for like extended range, it's only 240,000 Stardust.
That's even still not that bad, to be honest.
That's not that bad, right? For extended
Like
range
for a
for
whole
eight
eight,
hours.
eight
For eight
hours. Yeah,
hours,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So the
You might
Palkia
be able
one
to.
sounds
You
pretty
potentially
good.
could make up the Stardust difference too, because if you have
Yeah.
extended radius, I don't know how OP it is, but
Yeah. And if you're doing it, like if you're using that, you're likely doing it on some sort of particular event
yeah.
where, it's going to like reward you in that case. So I think the Palkia one sounds pretty good. I think the
Especially
Dialga
like
one,
triple Stardust, right? Community Day, you
exactly.
get more
Yeah.
encounters.
You know,
I think the okay,
um,
so I think the Palkia one's really nice. Again, I personally think it's still kind of expensive. But I think the Palkia one's kind of nice. Okay, so here's why I don't think it's like the best mechanic yet, although it is interesting. You're not sure if you can make up the difference. Like it's
yeah,
not. It doesn't seem like an actual
it's
benefit, right?
crazy.
Everything else in the game, like if you mega evolve something, right? You drop a lucky egg, you do all these things. You
Mhm.
invest Stardust, you power stuff up. There's a return on investment that you know you're getting. I don't know if you're really getting return on investment by increasing the radius by that much, right? You in a rural
Yeah,
area, you spend all the Stardust. Do you really get that much more? Actually, no. The spawns might be kind of crazy in rural areas, actually.
yeah.
But the question is, are you really getting the return on the
Mhm.
240,000 Stardust for 8 hours? Maybe you don't, but like it's not guaranteed. So you
Mhm.
could have played 8 hours for what? Nothing if you didn't catch anything good
Yeah,
and you didn't actually make the Stardust difference. So that's where I'm like, and also on top of that, you're spending a bunch of Palkia candy, right? Which
yeah. You definitely
not
do
the
have to make
no,
a personal call on that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And like use it in times where it's actually going to be useful because yeah, they don't sound like from what I was thinking it was before like I thought there was some sort of like Stardust multiplier, yeah, where I was like, oh, that's sick, that can stack on top of
yeah,
something like that is probably, you can never not get any value out of that, right? Whereas yeah, something like this you definitely have to make a call, I think,
yeah,
depending on how you're going to play. So I think, you know
right.
what, the Palkia one for certain events I think is going to be big for like, especially for super grinders, right? Where
Hmm.
you actually are capped by the amount of spawns that you have
Oh,
around you.
I just thought of something.
Uh,
The regional spawns are pretty nice. Yo, Palkia
yeah,
with the regional spawns, you be getting
yeah.
all the regional because sometimes like you're allocated, you're in a specific area in the venue, so you don't really see everything,
Mhm.
right? But with the
That would be a
Palkia
lot.
bonus,
Yeah,
yo,
that's not bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the card being king is here, man. The carving.
Yeah, you pump all your Palkia candy into carvings. It sounds like a good trade.
At this point, I'm kind of sick of
Yeah.
carving. I don't know what to do with all mine. I just need to offload them onto someone. But um,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Dialga effect, I think,
Dialog effect,
I
in
think
my opinion, I think it's
the
only really good for daily adventure incense.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think
Or like
everything
if
else
you're like a
is
free to
like
pay
tied to the
play
sword.
player and you don't want to spend the
Hmm.
in-game currency for start
Yeah,
piece and
and you,
stuff, and you rather spend
even then,
Stardust.
honestly, I think like it's probably still more valuable for you to like
Yeah,
keep the Stardust and candies in it.
I would
But
say so too.
yeah.
But
All right. Well, what else is going on in Sinnoh? Because I know that's not the only thing, right?
well, that was the main thing that was released. I mean, there's other stuff
Okay.
like spawns or whatever, just like a bunch of Sinnoh Pokemon I've already
Have they
placed.
announced about the worldwide?
I don't
Because
actually know.
I saw a
I think
date for it,
yeah.
but I don't. Oh wait, here we go.
There's a bunch of event features and stuff. The worldwide, I'm not fully sure, but they have a whole like.
Global
I would
Sinnoh
definitely
Tour,
go.
February 24th and 25th. I'm actually going to be in Japan for that, which is going to be so sick.
Oh,
Get to
okay,
do Sinnoh Tour in
okay.
Japan. Yeah, I think. Wait. Did I do? No, I didn't do I didn't do the last one in Japan. Um, yeah, that's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much more details aside from just the Palkia and Dialga.
Hey, you know
Oh, but
something
you
really
can
cool with the
get
Sinnoh Tour?
huh?
It's unrelated, kind of unrelated to Sinnoh Tour, but big
Uh,
shout out to my local TO and organizer, James Ablation. He's trying to host our next Go Cup
mhm.
on the weekend Sinnoh Tour, like the Friday right before the event, and
Okay.
he's trying to stream it too, actually.
Ooh,
So,
that's sick.
because the place that hosts it, the card shop, they have streaming capabilities, and we were actually testing out on our recent challenge this
Uh
past
huh.
weekend to see if his stream was able. So he's going to stream the cup, and then even try to get some commentators for it to
That is
cast.
so sick.
Yeah,
That
he
is
asked
so
if I
sick.
want to cast. I was like, I'd rather play,
Is
but I'll cast if you
he
need me.
also a community ambassador, by the way? Because I
Um,
feel
I
like
think
this is one
so.
thing.
I'm not sure if he
Yeah,
is or
'cause
isn't, but he does
you
use
get like
Campfire a
codes and
lot
stuff.
for our
Kind of thing.
tournaments.
Yeah, yeah. Because honestly, I think that's something I want a lot of organizers to explore a bit more. So it sounds like he's doing all the right things, really.
Yeah.
But I think all these sorts of things, you know, going back to the first YouTube comment we had today, I think all these kind of things are just going all in the right direction of getting more players interested. You know,
Hmm.
like I would love for locals to be watched in the same vein. They're not going to be watching the same vein as a regional, but to be watched in the same vein as someone might watch a GBLA or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Dude,
Being like, oh, LA
our Go
local.
Cup during the Sinnoh Tour thing might be more players than the Melbourne regional because we have a space cap of about
Oh
80
yeah, because
players.
everyone's I forget that
Everyone's
that's
gonna be
specific
there.
to you lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is insane.
Yeah. A lot
That
of people are gonna
is
be in town for
yeah.
this. Yeah. Oh, and he's
Wow,
like reaching out to like judges too, like Scrap and Pete and like
wow,
Bijan and
wow, wow,
stuff
wow.
to like be like because you're gonna need more judges if you're gonna have this
Yeah,
many
yeah,
people,
yeah.
right? And it's gonna be Swiss rounds, like it's gonna be kind of
That is
wild.
insane.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it's a
have
lot
you
of
guys
points.
got someone on production?
Um I mean, I think he knows how to run the production because he works
Yeah,
at the shop
sick.
himself too. Like he does some of the stuff as
And
well.
like all the like scenes and graphics and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
Jeez, that's
So
gonna be
if
sick.
there's someone's doing that and then potentially getting commentators to come, like I don't know if Soph and Butters are coming because they're both in
Mm,
California, so they might come for the
I
events.
imagine so.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, like they could
Wow,
commentate. Like you got A
nice,
tier
nice.
casters, like
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna
He
be
asked if I
exciting.
want to do it. I said I'll do it if he needs me, but I don't. We don't get a lot of cups in my area yet, so I kind of want to
Yeah.
play if I can. But
What date is it again?
it's it's the weekend after I think it's the weekend after Melbourne slash Knoxville.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
So
And then the weekend after that, I'm assuming is when Dortmund is.
wait, let me double
I'm
check, but
assuming
I think that's the case. Yeah, and the weekend after that's what you say?
Dortmund. So the last
Oh
event
yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
season.
yeah. So the Sinnoh Tour it's the 17th and
Oh
18th.
no,
So
it's the
actually no, it's
same
2 weekends
weekend as
after.
Dortmund.
Oh, it
Oh,
is.
oh no, no. So, if it's 2 weekends after that means Dortmund's the week before that. So basically, it's the last event of the season. Technically, is the LA. LA locals.
I guess so. Tune in.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah, yeah.
Tune in.
That's really
Yeah. Bring your Bassi counters. Same meta.
yeah.
You know how it goes.
Oh, I don't know.
Um,
Well, I mean, this brings us nicely into the next piece of news, unless you have anything more to say on
no,
this
no.
one.
Let's get into
Yeah,
it. Yeah. So next piece of news is we got Annihilape, dropping.
Annihilate,
Yeah, it's going to be Battle Week.
Bloodfire.
Uh, so Anicor doesn't actually need the extra battles in GBL now because he's already hit Legend. But
Don't need it. Don't need it. What can I say?
dude,
But honestly,
look,
I think
you let your
Annihilate.
foot off the gas pedal now. Next season, I'm just telling you, man. I'm coming there in like a raging monkey for that GBL. Speaking of raging monkeys, though, we got Annihilate coming in. It's you can evolve Primate into Annihilate after you defeat 30 Ghost type or Psychic type Pokemon in
Mhm.
battle with
A
Primate
bit
plus one.
weird, but I like that you can evolve Primate, and they haven't made it like a separate
Yeah, it's
thing.
kind of similar to the
So
main series game. I think you have to use
yeah,
like in the main series game. I think you have to use like Rage Fist or something 30 times,
yeah.
something specific. Um, But Rage Fist is a ghost move in the main series game,
Mhm.
and obviously, or I just say obviously, I don't know if we're going to get it for Annihilate, but I could
Yeah,
see us
I
maybe
imagine probably not anytime
if we
soon.
get it, that's gonna be crazy. But I think in the main series game, what happens is it doesn't do a lot of damage initially, but
Mhm.
the more damage your Annihilate takes, the harder Rage Fist hurts.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's some strategies, I guess, in VGC where they had their own Pokemon. There's like another Pokemon on their side because it's like 2v2, right? They had their own Pokemon, secondary Pokemon hit their own Annihilate to boost up the attack. But the way the damage worked is like it didn't do really any damage to Annihilate. So you're just constantly hitting at it, but like not maybe like you're hitting it with splash or something. I don't really know what move they're actually using to not do damage to
With
it.
the
So
up.
Annihilate's just like
Yeah.
taking damage, but not actually taking damage, and the rage fists are just hitting harder and harder. So like every time you use rage fists, you're just like destroying your opponents, right? Because the damage gets ramped up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how that worked like in a Pokemon Go mechanic. Maybe something like Power Punch with the Ghost move. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
something like that sounds, or maybe like I guess if it's going to be a signature move, then I can imagine it having a bit more damage than Power Up Punch. But yeah, probably something,
Honestly, if it
or
worked
maybe
like the
something
main
like a
series
Meteor
game, that would
Beam.
be really cool too.
Maybe
That would be
something like
really
Meteor
cool.
Beam sounds like it would
Meteor
probably
Beam.
be on theme. Because the thing is
Yeah.
in the main games, Meteor Beam, you have to wait a turn before you use it. So, there's already a drawback to Meteor Beam that we don't have, aside
Yeah.
from like the high energy. So I imagine it could potentially be something along the lines of Meteor Beam, where it's just like higher energy, but it
Maybe.
does guarantee boost your attack each time. And maybe it would be like, because it's a signature move, maybe just a bit less energy than Meteor Beam, maybe something like 50 could be
I think it needs
interesting.
to be pretty solid because so Annihilate's stat product in Great League is pretty much
Mhm.
almost identical to Swampert's.
Okay.
So it's not very bulky. Let's see. Let me take a look at what it looks like in Ultra League because that might be a different story. But in Great League, so Swampert like not the bulkiest either, right?
Mhm.
In Ultra League, wow, yeah, it's like
Was it the
pretty
same?
much it's like this. Yeah, I guess it makes sense
Wow.
math wise.
Yeah, yeah.
But Annihilate and Ultra League is pretty much Swampert and Ultra League as well. So like the bulk on Annihilate is not the
Yeah. If anything, it's
highest.
probably a bit less bulky by a tiny bit.
Yeah, let me see Master
Yeah,
League for the
it's
Master League
comparable.
lovers. So it's got less combat power than Conquador by like about 70-ish, by 78, but it has more stat product actually than
Okay.
Conquador. It has more stamina, more defense, less attack. So Annihilate and Master League is actually kind of
Mm,
interesting.
it's not bad.
It's like a bulkier Conquador.
Yeah,
That's kind of dope actually.
that's
I
cool.
think for
The thing
Premier
is,
that would be really fun.
generally in Master League, um,
Brutal Swing on
there's
Conqueror
not
would
a
be
lot
pretty
of
useful actually
fighting.
now into
Yeah.
Annihilate. But yeah, go
Sorry?
ahead. Well, I
What's
guess
he
no, it's still neutral. It's still neutral. Never
saying?
mind. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fighting damage. Well, not fighting damage, but like there's not really many fighters or like fighting fast move damage in Ultra League. So I think it could be quite interesting.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah,
But
that
the
could
big
be.
thing is we don't know the move set,
We don't know the
because
move set.
obviously, yeah, the current like Data Mine moveset is the same moveset as Primeape, so it's unlikely to be the same. And I think depending on the moveset they give it is really going to be impactful because obviously, like you said, the Charlotte Regionals Annihilape won't be legal. So essentially, the Charlotte Regionals is the last event before Annihilape is allowed. And yeah, depending on the moves they give it, it has the potential to change the meta completely.
Yeah.
It has access to things like Counter and Shadow Claw, but then equally, it also has access to things like, I imagine, Karate Chop. Karate Chop would be interesting because I think that's something that's like not too
Karate chop's
busted, but
so
it's
bad. You
usable.
need you need you need
It's
counter, I
Vine
think.
Whip, though. This is the thing. Karate Chop is the same
No,
as
I
Bubble
know,
Slam.
I know, but it's like counter's so much better in general. I've
It
used
is,
karate
of
chop on
course,
stuff
but
and like it
yeah.
just feels way worse, especially in
Is
matchups
this
against other
like
fighters.
your Karate Chop Shadow Machop that you used that one self?
Shadow Machoke, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, why? How do you know that so well? Is it
I
because
don't
I
know
faced your
why I
brother or
remember
something?
that. I don't know. It might have been, or it might have just been
Well,
like
no, I just no.
on
That's
variety.
exactly what I was thinking in my head, but I didn't think you would
Yeah,
be thinking it too. Yeah,
yeah,
no, I
yeah,
used Shadow Machoke
yeah,
in one of the Sylph metas, and it was a Primate meta too, actually. So I had Primate
yeah,
and Shadow Machoke, and I didn't use Shadow Machoke a ton because like all just like straight up all fighting moves, but it worked pretty well actually when I brought it.
yeah.
I used it in the Evolution Cup too. I was using Shadow
Okay,
Machoke a lot
yeah,
because
I
like
remember that as well.
Vigoroth and Machoke were
Yeah.
like the only
Well, the
viable
thing is,
like
I think
fighters or super
Karate Chop
fighters.
could still be valid depending on the charge moves. Do you know what I
Don't
mean?
don't don't wish this upon the world.
Okay.
I'll tell
Okay.
you,
Let me know. Let me know.
counters
Let me
what
know.
you
Okay.
want. No, when
Anyway,
you
anyway,
see
anyway.
karate chop,
Okay,
it's gonna be
okay.
you'll wish it had double
Okay.
kick instead.
Okay. I won't wish. I won't wish. But yeah, it has access to obviously Counter and Shadow Claw. Those are two best case scenarios. It has also like things like Poison Jab, Karate Chop, which
Shadow
are
Claw would
like
be really
kind of
neat.
a bit worst case scenarios.
You know what
So
would be
the
really
thing is, I
funny
think
if it gets Shadow Claw and counter.
that'd be insane. I don't think they
What
can
would you
do
what
that.
would you run? Does everyone run Shadow Claw? Because counter's
It
such a
depends
good
on the
move too, and
charge.
you get
It
stabbed
depends
on
on the
both.
charge moves. And then it also
But
depends
just
on
think
what your
about
team
just
needs.
think about the mirror matchup, right? If you don't run Shadow Claw, you just straight up
Yeah,
lose the mirror matchup. It's like the Spark versus Water Gun Lantern setup, right?
yeah, it's true. It's true. It would depend on what your team needs in it. Because I think, like, assuming that it doesn't get both moves, depending on which fast move it does get, will probably impact the direction the meta goes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the case. Because I think, like, if you, let's say, for example, if it gets counter, then something like Trevenant um, now has a lot more play, right? Because you've got, the opposing Shadow Claw. If it gets Shadow Claw, then trying to think what would be a bit more, maybe I guess dark types in general. So maybe you might see something like Umbreon coming through. But, depending on its charge moves, maybe it can hit back at Azumarill, so you might see a decrease in Azumarill. I don't know. It's obviously way too early to say this because we don't know any of the moves, but it definitely has the potential to be impactful.
Yeah.
But I
Eh,
think also not negatively impactful because of the stat product. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think it could
I don't think
necessarily
it's
run
gonna be
away from anything with
even if it
anything.
gets a really good moveset, I don't think it's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy busted
I
because
agree. Yeah.
it's not Metachamp bulk. It's not
Mhm.
Poliwrath bulk, right? It's
Right.
Swampert bulk. So I think for PvP purposes, I think it's actually a really good Pokemon because
Yeah,
that helps it balance it out, right? Like you don't want something that's so strong that has that good typing and that good moves and then also be that bulky, right? That's when you
exactly.
get stuff like Metachamp in the meta, right?
Yeah.
But uh, yeah, so that's Annihilape. And an event bonus for this event is Team Go rocket balloons will appear more frequently in Pokestops and balloons, which I think makes sense because if you need to evolve Primeape after you defeat 30 ghost or psychic
Yeah, true,
Pokemon,
true, true.
that probably
Yeah.
it's probably from rockets, right? Like who are you gonna
Yeah.
just bring Primeape into GBL every time and like try to hope that you get
You
a
probably
ghost or psychic? Be like, yo, someone bring me a ghost or psychic Pokemon for my Primate, please. Like
I mean, more time you'd probably wait. Does it say you have to win? Oh, you have to win. Yeah, okay.
I
So
mean, what do you mean you have to
what
wait? Of course,
okay.
yeah, but like this is just
Yeah.
gonna be for rocket balloons, like
Yeah, but I'm thinking like, okay, what is your because realistically, you're probably just gonna ask a friend to be like, yo, go into a battle with me
yeah,
and let's
bring like a
just
two
bang this out,
HP,
right?
yeah, like 10
So what's
CP
what's the what's the best thing that your
Sableye.
opponent can use to make it as easy as possible for you?
Just bring like a 10 CP Sableye.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot you could just do low CP. Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
true,
I
true,
mean, you
true.
could do a 10 CP dust goal too. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just because you're
yeah.
like resisting the counter
Yeah,
damage
yeah.
doesn't mean
I
anything.
was in
Yeah.
my head. I was thinking that it had to be a proper team, but yeah, you're right.
You're doing too much thinking right now, Anicor.
Yeah, yeah.
I do appreciate
Um,
that it's Prime can evolve into it. It's not like some raid exclusive or whatever
yeah,
too,
I
which
think
is
that's
nice.
big because
Mhm.
again, it means that you can actually get proper IVs. It
Yeah. Do you have
means
any
that
proper
they're
IVs ones right now?
I do by accident, just because like I kept
By
them for
accident.
prime apes.
Oh, okay. So the
Yeah, and I
rank one
actually have some decent
for
ones.
Great League is a 215-15, and for Ultra League, it's a 0
Let's
15
see what I
15.
got. I
Oh.
also have a lucky hundo.
Oh, okay.
So
I
wait
got
till
a
they start
non-lucky
calling me
hundo, but I
Master
have
League
a hundo.
Specialist.
I actually have a couple hundos. Okay, so I have a hundo. Let's see. Oh, these are. I have a rank
Mankey.
5 Annihilate for Great League. That's
Okay,
about it.
I've got this is 114-14. Okay, this one's a rank 35. I doubt I'll have anything as good as yours.
Um,
Rank 37. What is this?
yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
doubt
what's the
I'll.
next tournament you're gonna play in after Melbourne?
The thing is, this is going to be legal for Melbourne.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is
yeah.
this is important for me. Yeah,
Damn. Okay.
yeah. I have high rank ones anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like
Yeah,
the
maybe
even a rank
maybe
30
maybe
something is
Sableye
fine.
makes a comeback after this
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah.
because Annihilate
Um.
beats Lickitung consistently too, which is kind of wild based on the movesets it has right now.
Yeah. 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 We still do this. Still a bit early to know.
Yeah, I feel like
I
Gligar's
was
still
looking
just
at
gonna be
some
too
potential.
elevated.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it's still way too early to even look at anything. But yeah, actually, I think Gligar usage just gets higher because I
All right,
think
let me check real
regardless of
quick.
what the move set is, Gligar is going to
Shadow
have.
Gligar. Oh wait. Oh wait, yeah,
What?
no, you still lose, but it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
close. So let's say you're up one counter, right? Because if you have Ice Punch on Annihilate, assuming
Right.
because Ice Punch is cheaper than Icy Wind. Nah, you still lose to zeros. You
Yeah.
land one
So I
Ice
think
Punch.
Shadow Gligar or just
Okay,
Gligar in
so
general
you land
stops.
one Ice Punch. You put them in counter range.
Okay.
It does 71% of their health. It puts them to 18 health, and then each counter does 4 damage. So you could theoretically shield the aerial ace and just counter down.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah.
That makes a much more interesting fighter into Gligar. That's the problem with Poliwrath in this meta. You can't outpace the Gligar.
Slightly slow. Yeah.
Yeah, and no one that plays Gligar is gonna be that slow on the swap if they're
Yeah.
like decent at the game.
I mean, I guess you
So
could still try Ice Punch on Polly. You know,
yeah, you
if it
can,
seems
but
like it's running away that much.
Icy Wind's pretty neat though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh
But also in this same event, there's some really cool spawns.
yeah.
Because obviously Mankey is going to be spawning. So you know if you don't have a good Annihilape now, you have the opportunity to catch one. So that's really nice. Machop, that's cool. Lickitung. So for people who haven't got their Lickitung, or if you're trying to build two Lickitung,
Aren't you looking for a better Lickitung?
you know what? I ended up building a. The thing is, what I ended up building was a rank 1 best buddy, but I didn't have enough time to best buddy it, and that meant I had to go to level 50. So it's now just a rank 2.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
you
because
scuffed it that
level.
much? Wait, why do you need that? Why
I
couldn't
had
you just
to.
best buddy it? What do you need it
Well, because I
immediately for?
decided like the day before.
What for what? What do you mean?
It
Melbourne's
was
not for a few
before.
more weeks.
No, it was for Brisbane. It was for Brisbane. I built it then.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
dude.
I
So
was
what's the
like,
CP on
well,
this Lickitung?
1491. Yeah, it
My
literally can have
guy.
one whole
Just
power
don't
effect.
best
So,
buddy it.
yeah.
Just run it under level. Like I ran a card
I
bait
was
non
considering
best
I was
buddy.
considering running
Okay,
it
let's
for
put it this
49 and a
way.
half, and
Let's put it this way. If you were one level lower, right? Did it
what would
would
I
it
have
have
lost?
lost you any games? Did it change anything?
Nah,
Or
I
did
don't
you
know.
still lose the
I
games
can't
you still
remember.
lost either way?
I can't remember, but I couldn't have made that call beforehand. So
Ah, dude. Wait, so
I
what are
couldn't
you
have
gonna
made
do right now?
that
Are you still looking for a good ranked Lickitung now?
no, I'm not bothered. I'm happy. It's still a rank 2 generally, anyway. So
What do you mean rank two
a bit
generally? Is it rank
annoying.
two or is it rank two? What do
No,
you mean
it's a
rank two
rank 2
generally?
non best buddy, but it's a rank 1 best buddy. Yeah.
I mean, it's
So
not a rank one best buddy anymore after you powered up to 50.
yeah, it's no longer a rank one best buddy.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so you don't need Lickitung,
Um,
right? Because I saved some Lickitung for you to trade to you if you needed some, but I guess I'll just
yeah, no,
transfer
you can
them,
dash them
right?
if you want. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is, if Lickitungs are going to be out in the wild, I
Yeah.
think there's
Well,
an
and at
opportunity
Melbourne too,
to,
at the regional.
yeah,
So
I'll be able to assess and see if there isn't any relevant breakpoints recently, but and I think I checked Annihilape and there isn't one either. So yeah,
dude,
I don't know.
breakpoints are a myth, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's,
Now you say no, but the thing is, you're saying this, yeah, but like you're making the assumption that breakpoints come at a big cost of bulk, but in some situations it doesn't. So in some situations, you're just getting a free breakpoint for no reason. Yeah, and those are the situations I'm mainly looking at.
fair. I
Yeah.
get you, but if I analyze all my losses at tournaments, it's never
No, but
because I
knowing
missed a
knowing you
breakpoint.
but knowing the thing is knowing you have these stats, yeah, is important. So for example, my first Lickitung that I built had a Registeel breakpoint, right? And I knew I had the Registeel breakpoint. Whenever I would have Registeel counter swaps, I know in certain situations I can go for swap if I want to like put up two shields and I'm, in a certain sort of
What?
like
Your Lickitung could beat a Registeel and two shields?
in certain two shield situations, yeah.
What do you mean
If like
certain
they
two
don't get a
shield
debuff. So
situations?
if they don't get a debuff on the zap cannon, or they just go like straight focus blast, then the fact that I have 2 damage per lick, I think I can beat it in. Wait, let me
Are
see.
you sure? I don't think I've seen any Lickitung that could do that. Because if
Let me.
that's the case, you would have been running the Reggie Slayer Lickitung. You would have been world famous by now, right?
No,
Like,
no, but like, wait. Let me.
what kind of potato Reggie Steel trash cans are you facing here that's
Wait,
losing against
you're
a
saying this, but
Lickitung?
look, people have to take whatever Registeel they can get, so that's not even
What do
that
you take?
wild.
Whatever the good players are going to constantly swap until they get the one they want. What should we take? Whatever they can
No,
get.
no,
It's
but
not like a one
when I
and
say
done.
take, no, when I say take what you can get, I mean you go for the best rank you can get, right? Some people are accidentally playing with Registeels that have low defense, so that they were getting, extra damage on mud shots from Galarian Stunfisk. But it's going
Yeah,
to be
but
a
what's
high
this
rank.
have to do with Lickitung? Your Lickitung already has the breakpoint. Who cares
No,
if they
no,
have
I'm,
lower
I'm,
defense?
I'm talking about like people's like Registeels come in all different shapes and sizes, yeah, regardless of
I
how
just
high
want to know
rank it
which
is.
shape and size you're beating with your Lickitung spread.
Okay.
Is
So
it one shape and size, or is it all the shapes and sizes? Right? Because what's the point of making this Lickitung if you only win one spread? Like, I believe your Lickitung could beat the 1500 Registeel. I believe that's a possibility.
Well, I'll look into it again later, and I'll come back to you with an answer next week because
No, wait.
this
How are
was
you
something I
coming
looked
at
at.
me and be like, no, 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 you don't understand, right? Breakpoints actually can be good.
Well,
They
this
might
is
not
something I
cost any
looked at
bulk
2
and
years ago,
stuff,
isn't it?
right?
So
I
like,
got this Lickitung that could do all
maybe
this. And
maybe you need
all
some
I
chip
asked
on
you
it.
was,
I don't know.
oh,
Maybe you need
really?
some chip on
And
it.
then you're like
Maybe. Oh
back
look,
home, like, wait, hold on,
look.
maybe I need to
Hey,
do some of my own
two, two,
research.
two damages. Okay, wait. The one I was simming. My bad. The one I was simming didn't even have the breakpoint. Yeah. Let me just do that again. One second. One
I'm
second.
going
Let
to
me
ask
just do
you,
that again.
does your even have the breakpoint? You're just
Mine
throwing
has the
smoke.
breakpoint 100%. I trust past me. Look at that. You win the 2 shields against Registeel, yeah, if they don't get a debuff on you because you have this breakpoint. So there we go. Yeah. Let's erase the last 2-3 minutes of you clowning on this idea.
Okay. So I got a question for you then.
Uh,
If this breakpoint Lickitung is so good and so
yeah.
good, you can win the two
Uh,
shields against some of these trash can Registeel.
uh,
How come
this
you
is the rank
dropped it
one
for this
Registeel as well, by the way.
scuffed non-best buddy or rank 2 Lickitung that
So
you made? How come?
I was using that breakpoint Lickitung,
Yeah.
but I, depending on what event I go to, I make a call on whether I feel like I'm going to see Registeel or not, because I don't really lose too much with this breakpoint,
What do
but
you
at the
lose with
same
it though?
time,
Do you lose like charge bug and the 1 shields and 0 shields
no, I
now?
lose something like certain Frostlass situations due to HP.
Ooh,
So I have
that's
to
kind of
make a
funky.
call based on like what do I think I'm going to see. If I think I'm going to see Registeel, then I don't lose anything from bringing my Registeel breakpoint one. But if I don't think I'm going to face any Registeel, then I may as well bring the highest bulk.
You always lose something though.
Not
You
really, and
always,
not. And I mean, the
you
thing is,
always lose
again,
something.
you always lose something in dynamic situations, yeah. But knowing that you have these breakpoints, yeah, it just means that I think if you're looking at it the way you're looking at it on a blanket, like sort of blanket across the whole meta sort of thing, yeah, there's always pros and cons, but there's always
Of
pros
course,
and cons.
that's what I'm saying. There's always a pros
Yeah,
and cons.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then in these sorts of situations where you can put breakpoints or bulk points on certain things without losing too many stats, yeah, there's pros and cons, but you specifically know the pros and cons, and they also might be pros and cons that your opponent doesn't know because they haven't faced off
Yeah,
against
but
you.
you also know the pros and cons if you run a high rank one, right? You could make the same argument.
Yeah, you can, but then you're just giving yourself an advantage. Yeah, but you're giving yourself an advantage to get those sorts of breakpoints. Do you know what I mean? If they're in like relative matchups.
Maybe, but
Okay.
if you also run a high rank one, you know you lose that CAP, then you know how to play around it, right? You go for catches, you don't try to throw on CAP and
Yeah,
stuff.
but
Like it's
I'd
a
rather
similar
not
situation.
lose. I'd, I'd rather just go. Honestly, I'd rather just go for these sometimes. Again, look. Here's the thing.
Look,
Yeah.
what
So
I'm
let's say
saying is, at the end of the day, it don't actually matter that much. Like
no,
Rise
no.
Case is
Okay,
one of
look.
the best battles in the world, and his spreads are potato.
Okay,
Like they
no, no.
got no break
For
point or poke point, right? They're just
okay,
straight, like just they melt to everything, and he still finds a way.
Okay, I will say this, for the people listening, I agree, IVs don't matter, until you're way later in the game, But if you have the possibility, because I know that there are some people who, maybe they haven't mastered their gameplay and they're focusing on like, catching the best IVs of things. I don't think that should be your focus. I think you should focus more on your gameplay before you even look at IVs, These breakpoints and bulk points, they're not that important. But I think if you're in a position, look, if you're in a position where, look, you've got an event coming up, there's the potential for you to catch loads of the same. Okay, so we didn't get onto this, but there's also Gligar and Sableye. So Sableye, obviously, only going to be useful for Candy, but Gligar is going to be relevant, right? And I don't know them exactly because I only started recently using Gligar, but Gligar has certain, break and bulk points on certain mons, which honestly, if you do the research, it may be worth you hunting for one during this week. If you don't get it, it's not going to be the end of the world. But if you have the opportunity to get it, and it becomes like actually relevant, you take your opportunity now. Do you know what I mean? Innit? So
Look, all I know is against Abhinav in the grand finals, game 2 in the first set,
uh,
his Gligar won CAP over mine.
and
His
this is another
Gligar
example.
and his
Yeah.
Gligar was up 2 wing attacks compared to mine.
Okay.
And I won that mirror matchup.
Well, maybe you didn't look
I'm
at
behind
the
2 wing
right
attacks.
Gligar. Was
And
this
you
a
wanna
shadow
know
Gligar?
why?
This is
We're
shadow
both
Gligar.
shadow. We're both shadow. And
Yeah.
you know
You can't
why I
control
won?
shadow.
It's
Uh,
because I could tank an aerial ace in that 2 shield situation and he couldn't.
okay. Well, this is something you have to look into, though. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're
But
looking at
but
these
but the thing
IVs,
is, like you said, there's so many dynamic situations you can't sim for. You
yeah,
can't prep
I,
for.
I know this is true, but honestly, I
That's
think
why I say
okay,
stat product is king. You just run the
I
best
you know
you
what
have and you play the best you can in all these dynamic situations. And if you think you lose CAP, don't throw on CAP, right? And then you avoid the cap,
I
you're
agree,
good.
I agree, but I also think that you can't dismiss breakpoints and bulk points like that because again, there are some situations where you can essentially get a breakpoint for free, yeah, and in which case you should do. So here's an example, Noctowl Stunfisk, To get the Stunfisk breakpoint, you barely needed any. I'm not talking about CMP or anything like that. Just to get the breakpoint, you didn't even need that much attack investment,
But you
But
lose the mirror matchup.
if you had the breakpoint.
Yeah. So I ran a really high ranked Noctowl in that Noctowl
Oh.
meta, and I was confident that
Wait, no, because
I either tie in a Noctowl lead matchup,
uh,
I either straight up tie, or I'm able to wing attack them down before they get to that final sky attack.
okay,
And
I'm actually gonna.
like in San Diego especially, right, and probably a little bit in Fresno, but especially San Diego, every time I ran into a Noctowl mirror matchup in the lead, I already knew I won that game. Because there's no way that because I would just build my backline to have like really strong alignment based like matchups, and I knew that there's no way I could lose once I had that locked in.
Okay,
That's
okay.
where stat product comes in clutch.
I'm
That's
actually
knowing your
gonna.
matchups, right? That's something. Oh, you know what else helps? My rank 1 Azumarill against Kobe Coupland, right? That I was able to get that Ice Beam off after he spent the shield. On top of that, I won alignment and shield advantage off that lead matchup. And just one
Do
in
you
a
know what?
million.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say.
What?
I'm gonna say cap. Yeah,
What do you mean cap? There was no
cap.
cap.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
What's
Here
the
we go.
cap?
Yeah.
What's the cap?
Noctowl, yeah, that gets the
No,
and
no,
because
no,
you're
no, no,
thinking,
no, 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 no. Anicor, stop yourself while you're ahead, right?
nah, bro.
Think real closely here. I'm
You're
talking about
thinking about
Noctowl when I used in San Diego over a year ago.
yeah.
What Noctowl
I've
are you
simmed it.
simming right
I've
now?
simmed it with Fly. Yeah, so it's the
Why
same
would you
Noctowl
sim with Fly? It's
because
got
that's the
Sky
same
Attack.
as Sky Attack. Yeah,
Fly and
so
Sky
I'm
Attack are the
talking
same?
about that old Noctowl. Yeah,
Wait, are they
the old
actually the
Sky
same?
Attack. Yeah? Old Sky Attack and current Fly are the same thing.
Are
Yeah.
you sure?
So I'm talking about
How
old
positive are
Noctowl.
you?
Yeah. I'm 100% positive, bro.
You're 100% positive. You're
100%
so
positive.
positive that you bleach your hair with me if you're wrong.
Let's not bring that up before I can research it again. But like,
I'm not
I'm 100% positive.
No, it's different. Fly does 5 more damage.
Fly.
It's so obvious. No, wait. They increase the energy on Sky Attack by 5, right?
Okay.
Correct?
Okay. So it does 5 more
It's
damage.
yeah, it's different. What do you mean? I knew Sky Attack and Fly were not the same moves before the nerf, and it's definitely not the same moves now.
Okay. Wait a
Look,
minute.
if you need to
Sky
book your
Attack does
bleach hair appointment
51.
tomorrow,
Wait,
you do
Sky
it.
Attack. No, it's fine. Sky Attack does. Okay, Fly does 3 more damage. Yeah. So this
Yeah,
Noctowl in this
yeah,
situation is landing
it
6
literally
more damage. It don't make a difference. It don't make a
no,
difference. That 3 damage.
no.
Yeah.
No, it
It don't make a
does
difference.
because no, I'm telling you right now, in the
What?
old
You're talking two
Noctowl,
shield scenario, yeah?
no, 0 shields.
Zero shields, yeah. Oh, in
0
zero
shields.
shields, it says it's a tie.
No, yeah, because you're using fly instead of sky attack. I literally will win 0 shield scenarios with like 1 HP or whatever, 2 HP, and I'll just wing attack them down because I knew they didn't have the health to survive. So I would literally be able to
Oh
wing attack them
yeah,
down,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that final
True.
wing attack that KOs them also gives me a sky attack worth of energy. So not only do I win switch, I don't have to spend a shield, and I have a sky attack bank for the final Pokemon.
Okay, so you're winning zeros, yeah. And you
No,
ain't
but
winning ones and twos.
it doesn't. Who cares if they want shield the Noctowl mirror matchup? That's fine, right? I usually have the same one back, so I just win the back end because that's their main counter.
Okay. Anyway,
But I'm just telling you right now, like I knew right off the bat. Anyway, all I'm saying is, don't go down this like breakpoint rabbit hole. I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you, I didn't make it the grand finals 3 times riding on breakpoints, right? I wrote it on bulk points and the stat product. And I don't recall losing games. Actually, no, I did lose my final game against Berto in the grand finals last year because I probably didn't have the knocked out breakpoint. But I wouldn't have made the grand finals without the bulk on the knocked out. So I'd say it's a good trade off. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
I look forward to if there's a Melbourne stream. I look forward to your Lickitung beating all this Registeel. Have you simmed against high rank Registeel? Does it actually beat the 2 shields of high rank Registeel too?
So I only chose to invest a certain amount because I was like a majority. Like I'm fine at getting it against a majority of Registeel, right?
No, I'm just saying a high rank Registeel though.
Most high rank probably not because.
What?
Well, actually,
What's
no.
the point of
Actually, there
Lickitung
is
then?
some high rank.
Okay,
Yeah.
actually no.
No,
Sim this one. Sim mine. I'm about to share all my spread to the whole world right now. Just to see how this goes.
What were you trying to prove here? What do you
A
want me to check?
3 11 13. It should hit 1500 on the dot.
Okay, you want to know if mine beats yours?
Yeah, of course. If we meet EUIC, I need to know what
13.
I'm doing right now. Yeah. If it's not your potato 1491 rank 2 Lickitung, I know. I'll see. Based on the CP, I will know what's going on.
Okay, let's see. So mine is okay.
What if they go straight focus blast? Do they win it in the 2 shields?
No, if they go straight focus blast, it's the same thing. It's just it's dependent on not getting a debuff.
I
Is what it is.
see.
Because once it debuffs, then it goes down to 1.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if a turn earlier they would change anything.
I win the 2s, yeah.
Against mine?
I'm getting that 2 damage on your janky Registeel.
Good to know. I'm going to do a little chip and dip strategy, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, you go for that, Rev.
I'm just kidding.
Winning those 2 shields all day.
Your Lickitung going to be just destroyed against my Bastion. That's the more reality situation. What Registeel? You're going to be safe solving the Lickitung into a Bastion in my Damn,
Uh,
that breakpoint don't help me at all here.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I was using Bastidon in one of my practice tournaments a few days ago, bruv. And I was using it in like not in a completely similar way to you because I felt that like because I was bringing Bastidon, it would look a bit more like I think when you bring Bastidon, yeah, people would think they're like, oh, Caleb and his Bastidon, you know, like is there, it's never going to come out, yeah. Whereas if I'm putting Bastidon on my team for the first time ever, they're probably thinking like, oh, he's going to try and use it, right? So I
Yeah.
didn't lead Bastidon in most games, but to be honest, the thing is that like if I did lead it game one, I think I okay, one of the matches like they were weak to it, yeah. But
They're
instead, what I was
ABA week
doing
to it,
is
right?
but I was bringing it in
Yeah.
the back like game twos, yeah, and just any good matchup it had, I would just throw it in there. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
whenever they save swap something, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, boom, let's
Yeah,
go
yeah, like a
Bastion.
Cresselia, right? Or like
Bro, it
Lickitung.
was so sick. Yeah,
And it
I was
felt
like,
good, right?
it was sick.
I
It
told you
was
it's
so
good for
good.
the meta. Yo,
It
if
was
you
so
want to
good.
run in Melbourne, I
Yeah,
got you.
man.
I dropped a
The thing is,
long video. Did you see my YouTube video? I dropped
Yeah,
a
I'm
long
halfway
one.
through in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
it's
mean, the
long.
thing is,
Yeah.
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 I genuinely might consider it, but I'm definitely waiting until to see what happens with Annihilate, because I think if
I think the
Annihilate,
thing with Annihilape though is that you weren't gonna beat it. Like no one's probably gonna run Annihilape and Poliwrath, so that was a losing matchup anyway. If anything, you have a slightly better play into Annihilape because you actually Flamethrower is at least neutral, but um
yeah,
I don't think Annihilate
I still
so
need
I don't
to,
think Annihilate will
yeah.
change much, but
You don't know if it
for the
changes
for the
surrounding
fight
that.
for the so for the fighter meta, no, yeah, let me
Okay.
clarify.
Yeah,
But for the meta around it, I think it could do something. It could
yeah.
do
So
something. Like you
I
could
think
bring
I'm gonna wait.
Sableye into the picture. But
Yeah,
if you have a high rank Bastion, you beat
still not bad.
Sableye in the 0 to 1 match shields.
Yeah.
For the Sableye to beat you, even energy in the lead, whatever, they had to spend 2 shields to
Wow.
your 0 shields to win that. And I have proof of this because my final game against Elite in Fresno was
Mhm.
exactly that. Unfortunately, I brought a freaking Sableye and Venusaur in the back for his knockdown, and I was just screwed. But as if you had something else that could be a huge
Yeah.
advantage. So
Also, I just want to say I have the slight attack investment Bastion.
we're moving forward. Let's stop this. When you lose Melbourne, I'll
Fix
be
up the
sure to.
breakpoint
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Glygars and Shadow
Yeah.
Glygars.
It actually has a breakpoint against them.
Yeah, and it's not even that much attack investment. It's like it's overall it's a rank something like a
Are
rank
you able
26.
to flip a Glycard even shields in any situation?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
My
It's
Bastion could
rank
beat
26.
Shadow Gligar if I'm up one Smackdown in the ones if they don't bait. And no one really baits in Gligar, especially one shields up, which is kind of disgusting.
Okay, so Gligar, yeah,
Shadow
cannot beat it in
Gligar.
any shield situation. So in the normal Gligar, no.
Yeah, that makes
In,
sense.
in the Shadow Gligar, uh, no. Did you say you had extra energy?
No,
The
if you
the
give
thing
it
is, the
one if you
zeros
give
and
it one
twos are super
Smackdown
low.
in the if you give it one Smackdown in the ones if they don't bait, you win. You should win.
Okay, let's see. Let me give it one
Because you end
smackdown.
up landing a Stone Edge, and they just can't take a Stone Edge after Smackdown. And I don't even have the Breakpoint one. I just have a high rank one.
Oh, I still don't win, but this is probably baiting. That's why.
Well, just turn off the Aero Ace.
Enough baiting. No. What the hell? I guess this is also a rank
Yeah.
one Shadow Gligar, but whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how many
Anyway.
people have that. That might be a difference. Yeah, that might make a difference too. But
Yeah.
anyway, enough about these breakpoints and stuff. We have also some bonuses for Go Battle Week too for this
Yeah.
week. So 4 times
So
starters from
I
win
really
rewards.
like Go Battle Week versus Weekend because
Yeah,
I think
same.
it's way less stress.
The weekend
Yeah,
is
but you
so
still get the extra
exhausting.
reward of like
Yeah.
having more battles
Go
available.
Battle Day. No, honestly, I hated. Here's my ranking: Go Battle Week,
Um,
top. Go
yeah,
Battle Day, I'd say second. Go Battle
mm,
Weekend, way
it's too
worse.
much, man.
Because Go
Yeah,
Battle Day, at least all right, you spend one day, you do your sets, whatever. Go Battle
mm.
Weekend's like you play all your sets, I'm gonna go sleep, and then do it all again the next day. And you do all this for
Yeah,
what? You come back and your elo's the same or 20 points lower than it started out with, just for a little bit extra Stardust. You know, you could have got a lot of Stardust. You
true.
just went outside and caught stuff too at the same
It's
time,
true. It's
right?
true.
Like it's these
Yeah,
PvPers, and then they're like, I dropped 50 star pieces this weekend for 1,000,000 Stardust. I'm like, dude, man, you should just use the
yeah,
Palkia Aurora time at this point, right? Drop 500 Stardust so you could gain 200 Stardust back.
yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the
I
week thing
think
I like.
this.
Yeah, so you get
Yeah, this is
10
definitely way
10 sets per day instead of 5.
better.
Big for
And
those
there's
who
also
climb
a
for legend.
collection challenge which gives you TMs, which is also nice. So I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Although I still think that there's a lot of work to be done, it does sound like they're hearing some of the TM issues and they're doing tiny things,
Yeah.
like more TMs in GBL or this collection challenge or TMs when you're battling players. Yeah. So they're doing tiny things. Hopefully we can get something a bit more significant, but it's actually nice to know that at least it's being heard as opposed to just completely ignored. So that gives me a bit of hope personally.
Yep. I would say so.
Funnily enough, the paid research looks so dead, man. It looks so dead. Three for $2, yeah. 3 rare candy, 1 rocket radar, some stardust. I don't know if it says how many it is. I don't think it does. And 2 premium passes. Bro, that is dead.
I mean, for
That is
$2, I mean, if you
dead.
if you count the price of premium pass $1 each, it's not too bad. But like,
Is it $1
it's
each though? I don't know.
technically
Like,
speaking, yeah, roughly.
is it? Oh, if you
But if
buy
you
them
buy at
singly.
full price instead of out of compared to a
Yeah,
bundle,
that is
but
dead.
I
Anyway,
mean,
anyway.
buy if you want to.
You know,
I ain't
yeah,
judging if you want. Like the little microtransaction like this, I don't really hate. If it was like a $5
yeah,
thing for that, definitely not. But $2,
yeah.
$1,
But that is
it's not the
dead.
worst idea. But they could definitely,
Anyway, great
honestly,
league.
if not for our
Hmm.
Niantic listeners, if you spice up those special passes just a little bit, a lot more people would spend their
Might
$2.
consider it. Might consider it. Yeah,
And
this is the thing.
like the thing is, like like in-game currency is not a real currency. Like I get like
Mm.
there's like some like type of currency you all want to kind of control wherever, but like at the end of the day, Stardust is just a made up thing. Experience, Pokemon, whatever. Like
It's a
these are all
figment of
just
your
made up
imagination.
things. I mean, not well. It's yeah, some roughly
Yeah.
right. So just if you spruce it a little bit, I guarantee you get more returns, and people aren't gonna buy less stuff all of a sudden because they got an extra 50,000 Stardust from this ticket,
Mhm.
right, or whatever, or a few less rate passes, but a few more
Yeah.
rate passes. Anyway, that's my little
Yeah. Great League, Ultra League, Master League. So something for the whole family.
yeah. Anyway, that does it for our Annihilate Battle Week event. That'll be pretty interesting when that drops, and we'll see how that goes. Um, but yeah, I mean, sad days, man. Usually this one I say elo check, but okay. So
Hey,
so I'm
low
so
check.
le- I,
Yeah.
I'll tech you. I'll tell you though, right? Because you're invested in this
Uh,
clown beam thing.
go
I'm
on.
at 2810, which is not
Okay.
so it's doable, but it's actually pretty hard to climb 190 points in my opinion in a day.
I feel like there's a lot of people like in that elo range. I don't want to say it's more competitive in it, yeah, but
Oh,
there's
it
like a lot
definitely
of
is. People
like
are sweating
yeah,
their
there's a lot
butts
of
off.
people
Yeah.
really, really
Ain't
trying
no
it.
one
Yeah,
top lefting. Yeah.
yeah, it's true, it's true.
So, or like I was playing decent too, but I was just getting
Mm.
outplayed and stuff as well. I'm running a Zumro, Shadow Flygon, and Tornado. Tornado was
What?
cooking my team earlier because I ran Escav, Azumarill, and
Yeah.
Ferrothorn, and I was getting cooked by Tornado. Tornado
Yeah,
lead.
that's
I can't even get to the drill run before I get to
no
incinerate
way, no
down.
way.
And
Yeah.
anyone that knows how to pivot out, and
Yeah.
I tried swapping the Zoomer and tried to bank up energy for it. They just double shield the drill
It's
run,
not
and I'm just
dying.
screwed.
Yeah,
Because Ferrothorn can't do anything. Everything's resistant.
yeah,
Yeah. No, Shadow Flygon
yeah.
was
That's
cooking though for me. So I ran this team,
yeah.
and then I posted to my patrons, right? Because I was climbing with it when I made some adjustments, and
Mhm.
then I actually got a DM from Polly this morning. He's like, he's like, new team, right? Because he's in my patron chats, and I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, and then he posted a screenshot of like a Dracoviz graphic, said like, oh, it was like something suggested by 9R9 Pan DA. I don't know who that
Oh
is.
yeah, yeah. He's
Uh,
a Japanese Master League player.
Oh, okay,
So
and
I don't know
said,
why he's not playing
"Oh,
most of his
it's the
phone.
first team on our graphic from someone that suggested on Twitter before the meta even dropped. I just assume you knew." I was like, "Oh no, I didn't. I didn't. Dude, to be honest, I didn't read the graphic. I didn't see it. So I guess it's something else that other people are aware of too. But anyway, it's solid. It's solid. Yeah, but Panda
Yeah.
didn't know it was gonna be this good, right? I put it to work. Good
Yeah.
work. The patrons were climbing with it. They were climbing more than I was climbing. Honestly, I'll take some of their gains if I could. But we'll see if we can do it. Anyway, the score is now officially 5-1 in all-time bets. Do you want to come up with a punishment for next season? So Loudred, full day of sets, first to veteran for sure, right? The other person
Okay.
might do it. I honestly think the clown fit every week thing is a pretty good thing that we should just keep on top of
Yeah. Okay.
whatever. I think it's
uh,
because here's the thing, right? You
uh,
tagged me on Twitter saying that you hit legend. It took me like a solid 5 minutes to realize what was going on, and before reality hit me, and then I was just like,
yeah.
I'm not like,
You
am
know.
I
You
still
know. I wasn't
dreaming?
even gonna
Like,
do
is this
that.
a nightmare?
You know. I
Right?
wasn't even gonna do that. I
You're gonna
was gonna wait
surprise me.
until you posted your legend thing, and then I was gonna be like, "Lol, been
Nah, no,
done."
I think your
Like,
way's better because then people have been
uh,
like calling like shenanigans. Be like, wait, let me see the
they could call
timestamp and all this
shenanigans, but
stuff,
I had all
right?
the timestamps and stuff
Yeah,
there. You know,
maybe,
like
maybe,
probably have.
maybe. But no, but this is better because then I actually had to dye my because then I'm going weeks without bleaching my hair and doing the clown fit. You're just like
That's true. That's
pretending. Like every
true.
time we do an elo
Nah,
check,
yeah,
you're
that's
like,
true. That's true.
oh, I'm still
Yeah.
vet, right? Like,
I
like
was thinking like it would mean banking up the clown fit.
no, you can't
Because
be making up
technically,
rules. You can't be making no. You can't
technically,
be making up rules as you go along, right? I would have been like, nah, I don't know about that. Anyway,
and like the
I
bleach is
think
gonna happen for the same amount of time regardless, you know.
right,
So.
yeah, but anyway, the moment I saw that, like, then
Mm.
it's like the dread set in, and I had to accept that I had to bleach my hair, and then the panic starts hitting. It's like I don't want to do bleach your hair and a clown face,
Right.
like that's the worst, right? Now I really need to hit legend. I really can't drag my feet, right? I'm confident I'll hit legend at that before the end of the season for sure, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
I
very
just
true.
like, but it was the clown fit. I'm like, oh my god, I got a clown paint. The first clown meme panel is not that bad though. It's half face is white. But I don't
Uh,
want to sit here with half face white out of the freaking podcast either, man. With my bleached hair too. Crazy. If I was really
yeah, your
committed
new
to the
clown
bid,
name.
I because my hair's bleached, it would be lighter color, so I could actually color rainbow. But I'm not that committed to the bid. So, in fact, I'm so not committed. I'm going to try to hit legend tomorrow. It's called there.
Fair enough. Fair
We'll
enough.
find out though. We'll find out if I do or not. Probably won't.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I need to go to
Well,
Party
you know
City
what?
or
Just say,
something.
this episode's not going to go out early enough. I
Oh,
was
it's
going to
out
say,
Wednesday.
like, everyone knows what to run.
Oh
Just
yeah, no, that's why I said it.
whimsicott lead.
Oh, Whimsicott lead is kind of annoying. I think I beat a Whimsicott lead, but they're running Charm Whimsicott,
Okay.
and I think they
Fairy
like
Wind
heavily
whimsicott
misplayed it.
lead. And
Yeah, dude,
put your
the
Azu in the back.
Slurpuff say swaps were throwing me off. It took me way too
Oh, you
long
don't
to
know what.
realize that almost no Slurpuff are running play rough. So they say swap
Yeah.
Slurpuff, and I come in Tornator, and I'm shielding Energy Ball every time. And I'm
I
always
feel
like,
like
dude,
you can even tank one play rough and it's not
you
really an
could,
issue.
but I'm like, I'd rather shield than
You'd
just
probably
incinerate
incinerate
down.
down.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'd rather incinerate down, but I would tank the energy ball. I would shield the energy ball. I'm like, oh shoot, it's double resisted, right? And they're featuring
Bro, you're
heat
double
ball.
resisting all
And then
their
the
moves
second
as
one
well.
comes in when I yeah. And then the second move comes in and I no shield. I'm like, oh, here comes the play rough. And it's a straight up flamethrower. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just wasted a shield. And then
Oh
I lose because
man.
I'm down to shields because it's freaking slurp off. So I just stopped shielding it. Of course, the first slurp off I no shield is a play rough coming
Yeah.
in. And then I get hit by the flamethrower right after the play rough. And that's the one I shield. I think they're the same
Oh
energy, which
man.
makes even less sense what the heck they're
Yeah.
doing. But yeah, Slurpuff be
Yeah,
cracking me
true,
up.
true.
Yeah, I tried to run Slurpuff myself, and then I was struggling. I couldn't even
Yeah.
beat Flygon with it. Um. Anyway. Okay. So what do you want to do for next for loser for next season? I feel like we have a lot of mistakes. We did the
Honestly, I
hot
think
chip. You want to do tattoo?
I'm never gonna do tattoo. Yeah.
Why? I know
I'm never gonna
that's the
tattoo myself.
motivation. That's the motivation.
Nah, but I'm never gonna tattoo myself. So
You
even if
know
I
what you
lose, it's
could
not
do? You know what I could do?
uh,
You could get that too. of my
I can get a transfer tattoo or one of
no,
those temporary ones.
get a tattoo of my logo. So that's when we're showing up together, we can take a photo together. You show the tattoo, and I'm like, yo, look, it's my biggest fan. He tattooed my logo on. I'll send the pictures to my
You
parents
know
too.
what? Do you
I'll
know
be
what? I'll
like,
tell
look,
you
I
one
got a
thing
big
though.
fan.
Okay,
My logo
in
tattoo is
the
actually pretty nice. My logo is actually
in
pretty nice though. It
in
wouldn't
the
look
vein of
that bad.
tattoo, yeah, you
Yeah.
can get these like temporary 2 week tattoos.
No, that's not
Yeah.
the same though.
Okay, so I mean, because I could opt for that, and I'd be like, yeah, that's fine, innit? Because they're like
Nah, it's
the
gotta be
whole thing
real.
is that they're not like transfers where they rub off. Like they will actually stay the same for like a
It's
good
not the
couple
same.
years.
It's not the same.
Yeah,
2 weeks
so
is nothing.
I'm not doing tattoos.
All right, we'll think of something
Um,
else. I
well,
don't know.
any ideas? Yeah, drop them down in the
No,
comments. Because
I mean we say this every time, but
we,
then we just get like RC Cola asking us to run like 2Ks or
well, we
five
don't have
Ks or
to
ten
take all the
Ks.
ideas. That's the
No,
thing,
I
innit? So
know, but like there's not. I
and
mean,
we also have a
you
lot
could
of
drop
time to decide.
ideas. Yeah, I
There
want
might be
something
some good
now because I
ideas in
want the
it.
motivation already to start kicking
Okay,
in
okay.
early. No, I'm telling
Motivation
you,
to do
next
what, bro?
season,
You can't work for
I'm
next
I'm
season now.
telling you, I'm never losing a bet again on this podcast. This is the first and last time I'm saying it in all seriousness, right? Because you think I'm serious now. When my hair is bleached, I'm gonna be even more serious, right? Because I'm gonna look at myself in the face every morning and be like, damn, you gotta eat this L, right? It's a different thing to lose in the grand finals,
Oh
right? I
my
walk away with
days.
something, but I'm walking away with nothing but damaged hair, right? I'm telling you,
Oh
it's
my gosh. Hey,
yeah.
let me just say, yeah, next season I'll be back in London, bruv. So,
Try, yeah.
like,
No. You know what I need to
I
do?
ain't gonna make
I
this
need to hit
easy.
up. Who's the UK Prime Minister? I need to hit him up. And be like, you better outlaw this Mexican music in your country. Ain't no one play no Mexican music in UK.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Yeah, you probably could convince him of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe there might be some
put a bit
xenophobia
of
on that front.
a questionable spin on it. Yeah, and I'm sure he'd eat it up. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
you know what? For the next one, I feel like
Do you even have a Great League Loudred, by the way?
I can make
You're
one.
just gonna have to build
I have
one.
like a
Oh, okay.
98% one. I mean,
That's
what? Do
fine.
you have one? Do you have one max? I don't think so, right?
No, but I can make one, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you can make one. You can make one. We'll think of something. I guess we don't have to think of something now.
Let's
I was just
see. We
like
got
kind
some
of
time.
heated. I'm trying to think of something really bad, right? Something to really motivate me to not stop a single set. I'm going try hard
Bro,
right
just
out the
okay. Look,
gate.
just bear in mind, yeah. Bear in mind that the reason I did this was because I really didn't want to bleach my hair in it. Yeah. So if
I
you
know.
think you got
I
motivated,
kind of made my
I
own
didn't
bed
care
in
about the
this
hot chick. Yeah,
because
I had
I
stuff to
feel
do at the time. It was like
I feel like last week too, I kind of egged you on too much. I'm like, you got bleach, you got the confident, everything, and then you got nervous, right? If I was like, I'm chilling at 2600 too, right?
I would have chilled honestly because I assumed you were
Yeah,
gonna get it in 2 days. I was like,
I thought so
like
too. I was literally at
yeah,
2900. I just kept
I was
taking.
like, yo, what? Just
I
two
take all
days
the way
worth
down
of
to the
work, like
2700s.
And at worst case, it means in 2 days I got to start looking for colorists. So I may as well,
I did it to
Yeah,
myself.
if you'd have said you were
I
on
did it to
2600, I would
myself.
have been coasting.
But
I wouldn't have.
honestly, if you told me that you could get 500 elo in 2 days at this point in the season, there ain't
Yeah,
no
that's
way I
true.
would have believed that too. You know how many people I talked to in the past 24 hours? I was like, you believe Anicor did this? You really think that he had no freaking LNDS guy on the other end playing for him?
Oh
Maybe a
man.
California guy with the US advantage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh,
man. I even did a
hey,
couple sets yesterday after work, and like honestly, I threw one game really badly. Like I had two drill runs, and I could have got two drill runs, and I baited an aerial ace anyway. And they like no shielded the bait, but like all my other games, like I went two sets positive. I was like, not bad, not bad. You
all
know.
right. You know what? You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm second place specialist here. Best thing
Yeah,
I could
fourth
do is
time,
salvage a second.
fourth time second place.
Best thing I could do. What do you mean 4 times? You're 5 times second place if we're counting that, right? Just between me and
Why
you.
not?
I'm just saying best thing I could do to salvage a second place is at least
Uh,
hit legend tomorrow. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
uh, we'll see. I got some work to do.
Uh,
Anyway, I think that's gonna call for us too. So thanks all for joining in. And For our YouTube
Oh, we didn't
listeners,
go over Battle Frontier.
take a good
Okay, to be
look.
honest, it's
Battle
been a
Frontier
while.
won't be starting for another week or so, right? Yeah. Take a good
Monday.
look at this hair. Take a good look. It's gonna be a different shade.
Because that's the last you're gonna see of it, you know.
It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. I haven't even told my parents about this bet because why would I? I wasn't planning on losing anything. So I'm gonna tell them. I want to see my dad and my stepmom like literally in like February. So
Yeah.
early February. Less than a month. Yeah, there's
Surprise. I look like a paintbrush. I look like one of them
dude,
trolls.
they're literally gonna go be like, "What did you do? What did LA do to you?" Right? Those freaking LA people. Yeah.
Oh man.
Tough times. Tough times. Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks all for joining. We'll catch y'all next time. Look, I'm good at taking my losses, right? I've done it plenty times in grand finals. I'll take it for the first time on this podcast in a non-Stardust related bet. First time ever to Anicor. Last time he ever wins first place. But I'm a man of my word. And I will be bleaching my hair in a couple hours from now. So it'll be what it is. Anyway, peace.
Safe.